Is it supposed to be recording now? Because it seems to be recording.
Welcome back to Factory Sealed. It is March 3rd, 2018. My name is Eric Peterson. Joining me today, Mr. Mike Tyson!
Your eat pet.
Huh?
I said your eat pet.
One more time.
Your eat pet.
We got Dan Curtis.
I'm Geordie and I don't even know what he said.
You understood it as Geordie, though, so that's okay.
I got the y'all reet, but
It sounded like noise.
throw a lisp
It's
into
my
it
own new
next
language
time.
that I'm developing. I thought I'd just try it out on you guys, see what you thought.
Tysonese.
Oh, I see, Eric. This is his latest attempt at getting a thing on Factory Seal. I see.
Ooh.
Hey, my thing is all over the internet.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it looked familiar.
Anyway, Eric, what was that racket at the beginning?
Oh, new music.
Oh, is that what you call
Zach.
it?
Yeah. Well, hey.
No, I jest. I love it.
Yeah.
I think it is beautiful music.
Yes, we did decide after 5.5 years to change our music. We put a poll out. The general consensus seemed Factory Sealed is always about change. Let's change.
So next week we'll have different music again.
And then the week after that, it's going to be Mike butt rocking.
And then after that, it'll be completely new hosts. None of us will be here.
I think that's probably for the best.
No, so we decided to change for a number of reasons. We're all pretty attached to that original music, but when we first started, we were just kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel and had to use some royalty-free music that when we were at E3 in 2012, we put together some videos and used that. Like, yeah, I like that music. It kind of fits the theme of what we're going to be doing. So 5.5 years we use that, but I'd say in the past month, we've stumbled upon that exact music a handful of times in different locations. Particularly a popular YouTuber who started a new channel has that as his main intro music.
Womp,
Yeah,
womp.
he just wanted some of our fame.
Yeah, he did. So, but secondarily, though,
I just
the GDVP music is just better.
I do like it.
I've always liked it. It was jazzy.
And it gives us the ability to do those really stupid intros. Which may or may not lead into some aspect of some part of the show.
Does any part of the show lead into any aspect or part of the
Yes,
show?
yes,
I will
yes.
have
We
you
have,
know.
we have regular, beautiful segues. Thank you very much.
We are the kings and queens of segues.
Who's the queen?
Who?
Tom, surely.
Yeah, of course. He's not here to defend himself, so naturally it's Tom.
Gay guy.
Segway, guys.
Yeah, Tom is gone.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Damn it, we brought that up too early.
Yeah, forget that happened. We'll bring it back later.
Tom's actually supposed to be here, but he had to go buy food.
Yes,
New music, new start.
Yeah. And a new day. Ugh. It's technically Saturday. And we normally record on
It is Saturday.
Sundays. But Dan got a wild hair up his ass. He's like, guys, let's record a day early.
You all said yes. It's not like it's inconvenient.
I was still half asleep when I replied. I thought it was Sunday.
Oh. So, but my message said, can we record today instead of tomorrow? So you should have still got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't think that through, did you?
No, I generally don't. I'm not a big fan of the whole thinking things through. Just throw some shit at a wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, so I requested we record the day early because I have been stuck in the house for days.
No, that is false. You went out for a 1.5-mile death march to get toilet paper through the snow.
Yes, but apart from that, that's all I've done.
By the way,
Can't go
revelation
anywhere
listeners,
else.
crystal exists.
We don't know that. Dan just could have done
video evidence.
No, Dan, Mike, come on, you can't believe everything you see on the internet. Dan could be a wizard of video editing. He could have gone out and had a tripod set up and then recorded.
That was just me in a woman's coat.
Exactly. He got out his Tuesday afternoon outfit, pranced around, and then recorded another video and overlaid them.
I like the way he made sure he got the toilet paper in.
Well, yeah.
Yes, it's essential.
I can't believe you guys braved that just for some toilet paper. You were completely out.
Just get toilet paper. I had a bag full of stuff as well.
For some context, the UK has had a massive, massive snowstorm this past week.
It has.
A lot of people have been stuck in the house and stuff.
You know where you guys should move to?
It's either that or wipe our asses on leaves. I mean, come on.
You got socks.
And those things are just going to be cold.
Use your socks, Dan.
Dirty
Man,
bastards.
right.
Haven't you ever
Random
had to
story
take a
about
crap
this.
outside with no toilet paper? Socks are disposable.
Random story about this. I've got a mate
10 minutes in, we're on about the toilet.
Yep, and it's going to get worse with this story. A mate of mine,
God.
he's always had really fucking terrible bowels, right? And me, him, and this other
Is
guy.
he called
who
Eric?
No. Me, him, and this other guy who we barely knew, who I'd met through work, went. We went to this wrestling show, which was towns and towns away, and the guy who we barely knew got really, really pissed and fell asleep in the back seat when he got on the way back. And my mate with the terrible bowels just had to randomly pull up into a ditch and then was out there and was crouching to have a shit. And he was like, oh, fuck, I've forgotten to take my socks off to wipe my ass, right? And I was like, do you want mine? so I'm giving this guy my socks. And the guy who's drunk, who barely knows us, wakes up and just goes, what the fuck have I woken up to? And my mate's just there squatting while I'm giving him my socks.
Yes.
I love those random
always nice when people you don't know do that kind of stuff.
I don't know if I've told this story on the show before, but I used to coach high school golf back probably 10 years ago.
Of course you did.
Ago.
You have literally done everything.
Was it urban golf?
No, I mean, technically, yes, when we practiced, that made us really good on the course. Because if you can get yourself through a neighborhood, down an alley, and across a few dead cats, you're going to be fine. So we're at this tournament up in the northern part of Wisconsin, and on the way up, we'd always caravan, and I'd have all the guys ride with me, and we decided one day to stop at a gas station and just get a bunch of junk food, which is a terrible idea before any sort of sporting event. And one guy wanted to challenge me to some sort of stupid eating contest. The largest cup we could find full of room temperature Diet Mountain Dew, and then as many Reese's Pieces bags as you could eat before we got there. And it was a 45-minute drive. Terrible, yes. Absolutely terrible combination. We get teed off, and then the coaches go out to play with the other coaches on the back nine, and about the third hole in, it hits me. Like, I have to shit now. And I'd known this course, and I knew where the bathrooms were. Like, there's a hole, or there's a bathroom back at the clubhouse, but that's at least a 10-minute cart ride, and there's not another one for 4 holes. So we're driving around the green like, dude, you got to stop. I got to go. And I had nothing. Obviously, I didn't have any toilet paper, and I had golf shoes and everything on, and I grabbed my golf towel off my bag and go running into the woods, not thinking that it's a downhill slope. So I'm sitting there, pants down, just shitting all over the place. You know, shit runs downhill. That's how I lost my golf towel.
I feel sorry for whoever found that.
I don't. It was a good
I
mess.
thought that
And if anyone found my
that
socks.
story was going that you were going to have it in the hole.
Oh, God, no.
Just golf carts up to it, jumps out of the golf cart.
Blocks someone's shot. It's going for the hole in one. Just dunks off Eric's head. What a delightful story. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, Mike and I both had to just share some poop stories.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah. It's what this show is about, Dan. Do you have a poop story?
I do, actually. I used to have a great auntie who wasn't very well, and I don't know if this is just a rumour or not, but somebody once told me that she managed to get shit on the ceiling.
What?
How?
I'm thinking either throwing Or cannon fire.
Just laying on her stomach and just...
Ass in the air. Yeah.
You're not a real man until you've almost shit your pants and or actually shit your pants. That's how you know you've come of age. By the way, this is a retro video game podcast.
It is, yes.
In case this is your first episode with us, we do apologize. The reviews
Don't
aren't
listen
wrong.
to this episode first.
Yeah.
Go back to 45 when the show was saved.
Oh, shut up. So you guys had a trek down to Manchester 2 weeks ago. That's why we
did
skipped a week because it's been a month since our last show.
Oh God, has it?
Woo!
Oh, this one's going to go off the rails.
It already has.
Yes, it has. We've each told a poo story. It can only get better from here. Yes.
Yeah, we got together and we had dip. It was lovely.
Had dip?
We did have dip, yes. Many dips.
What do you mean you had dip?
We bought a pizza and about 80,000 dips because Mike, when he has dip on pizza, consumes an entire dip for every bite of said pizza.
Not every bite.
It is every bite, Eric, honestly.
I can go for nearly like one dip per slice, that's for sure.
My God. Those dips were like the most buttery, unhealthy things in the world.
Deliciousness. I read somewhere ages ago, apparently they're cholesterol free.
Really?
Yeah, apparently.
I woke up the day after and I could still taste it.
Oh, good. If I could wake up every morning and my mouth tasted of Papa John's garlic dip, sign me up.
Well, you're quite the catch.
I'm sure Hazel loves it.
Yeah, she does. Yes, we got together. We conquered the Crystal Maze. We did it. It was very fun. Real shame you couldn't be there, Eric. It was good
Well,
fun.
nobody invited me, so...
You live in America.
Mike invited me to his wedding, and look what happened there.
Yes, but you came for 2 weeks, so you're going to come just for a weekend to do the Crystal Maze.
Well...
Which is an hour-long experience.
You didn't invite me, so you'll never know.
Oh, well. You only would have let us down.
What? I'll have you know that I helped out in that escape room.
Oh, yeah, you did, actually.
Yeah. So you guys just went down there for one night?
2 nights.
No,
it was 1 night, sorry, yes. 2 days.
One night, and yeah, we did the Crystal Maze experience, which was ace. It was just like the TV show, which I don't think you have a US equivalent. Do you?
No.
Oh, God, you missed out. It was a real trend back here in the 90s of those kind of shows.
I don't even remember
see
what
Dan
a lot of them...
scurry in some sand.
You did?
What do you mean?
One of the games was basically had coordinates along the wall, so it was A to like M along one wall, and then numbers down the other, and it would give you a coordinate, and then you had to dig in sand to get the next coordinate.
Ooh.
And I was one coordinate away and ran out of time.
Weren't you guys paired up with a couple of random girls, too?
Yes, we were. Yeah, they just, we got there and just these 2 girls that came by themselves and went, oh, these people are going to be on your team. We're like, okay.
They were nice enough, though, and like they weren't. I was worried that they'd be really awkward and shy, but they weren't.
Yeah, they weren't. But
how much shouting did Mike do?
Lots. Actually, I think he was quite reserved.
Could you hear him from
there was one game that I did, right, and I was sitting on this swing thing, and you had to pull yourself towards a furnace and throw bags in it. And
it was like a zip line, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I got back, and Mike was right at the window, and he was counting down the time, and I just pushed off the ledge, and he was going 6, 5, and I was like, ah, because if you run out of time, Eric, you get locked in, and you lose a crystal. And so I had to pull myself back and got out with like a second to spare.
If you got locked in, then you'd be done?
On the main TV show, yes, but on this, because you've paid for the experience, they just give you a chance to win back the crystal. Honestly, it was fantastic. I've done it twice now. So, and our team was Ragsy's Raiders.
Of course. Good old Ragsy.
And our battle cry was, gotta go fast.
Go
Tom would not be the captain, so Lady Catherine stepped in.
Why didn't Tom want to be the captain?
He just didn't. There was
Too
too much
shy?
responsibility for him.
Yeah.
He shirked his duties.
He's kind of in the throes of getting ready to change continents.
He is. He's May, I think.
Yeah, like May 22nd is their flyout date. Apparently he's just been shedding.
I hope he's back for the next show, otherwise it's just going to be you and Mike, and that's going to be a shit show because I'm in Australia.
Again?
Good
lord, dude.
The next episode.
Yes, the next episode. You know how we do an episode after this one?
No, I was clearing up. I didn't quite hear what you said.
Oh.
I know how it works.
Generally, there's an episode which follows on from the last episode.
I just misheard you.
Did you think this was the last one?
Yep.
It's the swan song. I can check to see if Tom's replied to that one. Oh God, Mike, your dreams of your first two-man show might be coming true.
Dreams?
Oh, Tom
Dreams?
has...
Those are them things there. You kind of have aspirations and you think about them.
All right.
Typically when you're
realize
sleeping.
You turned into a dictionary.
That's like a kind of book with words in.
Good news, Tom has replied that he will be here for the next show. We don't know what the hell we're playing yet.
Hooray!
But I will tell you guys something
Barbie supermodel.
that I recently played.
Goof Troop?
Fuck no. God, no.
This is going to be a Mega Man story, isn't it?
Can see him peering through the bushes right now.
I have to give a special shout out to that, by the way. It's been a source of endless amusement for the past week.
I forgot we haven't had a show since then.
Basically, Eric developed a picture of himself, which is perfect for photoshopping onto different things. Which started out life as, did somebody see a Mega Man with Eric's head peeking over some bushes? So I decided to cut out said head, and for the past week have been photoshopping Eric onto various things.
Typically old-timey, vintage, creepy as hell photos.
So good.
They're all over the Facebook group if you want to go see them.
Oh God.
I'm glad that I can bring entertainment to your day, Dan.
I'm glad you took it well, because I was scared you were going to react badly.
When would I ever react badly to that?
I didn't think you would, but I was just in case.
It's such a stupid look, too.
There was one, right, where it was... I haven't done it, but there was a Victorian woman. You search for funny Victorian photos, and there's this just woman with the most giant boobs you've ever seen in your life. Right? And she's balancing a teacup and saucers on each boob. And I couldn't edit the hue of Eric's head to make it look like it was on properly.
Did you attempt to try and just put his head where the boobs were?
Oh, I could have edited them very subtly into the cups and saucers. Good idea.
My favorite one is the really tall constables.
That was so funny. My favourite one was the Mega Man summoning dance one.
With everybody leaning back.
Just the fact is, because obviously you look from left to right, so you look along these people, and then just on the right person, just Eric's head.
There's that one where you've put him like as the nun's face, like there's a nun kneeling down, but just to the left of the nun, there's like a creepy kind of bald guy there. And when I first looked at it, I thought that like you'd put it there, and it wasn't. It's just some creepy bald guy.
I did honestly debate putting the head in that guy, but then I was like, the nun's just too much to pass on. But I had to stop because it was becoming an obsession.
I think
do you actually do any work when you go to work, Dan?
Yes, I did. I was doing it at work.
I like the one where you did the Silent Hill with Harry Mason saying Cheryl, but then Maddie Hallmark really stepped up and knocked it out of the park with changing the subtitle of Cheryl to look like just Mega Man. Have you seen Mega Man? He's blue.
He also pixelated the head.
Yeah, I know. It looked so good.
I didn't know.
I tried to do that, but I couldn't figure it out.
Oh, yeah, he knocked it out of the park. That's one of my favorite ones. Mega Man? Have you
And
seen
that
him?
leads us into our new competition.
God. I mean, we
Not really.
could.
Not yet. Not yet. Not
could.
yet.
We have to do another game giveaway because we are at that Patreon tier. Anyway, speaking of Mega Man,
Oh God.
I've been chatting with Zach Foley over the past few weeks, sending games back and forth. He's kind of helped me get my
back and forth.
He's helped me get Mega Man 3 and 4, as well as my Saturn, and then he actually helped me find a sealed copy of Lufia: The Legend Returns on Game Boy Color. One of those games I've been looking for forever and never been able to come across a copy of it. So I just sent him a message like, hey, if you ever see this, let me know. And like 2 hours later, he goes, you're the luckiest son of a bitch on the planet. I found you a sealed copy of it. So he sent me that. But anyway, I think it was last weekend-ish? Yeah, last weekend. I pulled out my old tote of consoles. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to actually play some Mega Man 2. And in digging through all the cables and controllers, I found this old NES quick shot joystick. Like, I wonder if this thing still works. So in the process of getting all my NESs set up, I'm like, surely one of these 3 or 4 is going to work. Got it to work and plugged the joystick in and got a wild hair up my ass. I'm like, I wonder if I can beat Mega Man 2 using nothing but this quick shot joystick. Fully expecting to not be able to get past the first or second screen in any of the levels. What a difficult experience. I mean, I know Mega Man 2 inside and out, but the joystick is interesting because you tilt it left forward or left right back forward to move, obviously, and then there's a button where your thumb is on top to jump, and then the trigger is shoot. So everything's happening with your right hand, and it's completely rewriting how you have to play this game.
You look like you were nailing it, though, from the videos you sent us.
Yeah, it was actually surprisingly easy to get accustomed to. I will admit I died in the very first hole of Metal Man. Just walked right into it, didn't jump, because my brain is still saying, okay, you should be moving with your left hand, jumping with your right hand. Something didn't click. But ended up not being nearly as difficult as I thought it would be, and made it all the way to Dr. Wily's castle. It was getting pretty late at that point. I was working my way through it and got up to the dragon, but the most difficult aspect of it was those precise jumps that you need to do, because when you have the D-pad, you can kind of readjust where you're going to land. But this one, you're moving a joystick from one side all the way to the other, so you have less time and it's not as accurate. And if you know that dragon level where you have to jump across all these really precise platforms and then fight the dragon while you're jumping from a top platform to a lower platform that's just as wide as Mega Man himself, I just kept falling off there and finally gave up.
Well, how disappointing.
I know. Hey, it's still on my list of shit to do, but...
And you call yourself a Mega Man expert.
Dan.
Disgraceful.
I've let myself down. I will burn all of my cartridges.
I disappoint.
I will burn all of my cartridges. And all of my paraphernalia.
You must never speak of Mega Man ever again.
So it got me thinking, like, what other games would be impossible to play with that stupid thing?
Guitar Hero.
Well, yeah, that would
Dance
be...
Revolution.
It got me thinking about people that use stupid controllers for games. Like, did you see the guy that beat Dark Souls? It was either 2 or 3 using nothing but a Guitar Hero controller.
Yes.
What?
How the hell?
I saw a playthrough recently where somebody beat Dark Souls 3 without taking damage.
What?
How is that even possible? Literally, no damage. Did not get hit once.
Good Lord. Saw a video of a guy, a guy that did Call of Duty World War II, got to the Master Prestige level on multiplayer, didn't fire a single bullet.
What?
Did everything with the bayonet, the knife, the shovel, and the axe.
But that took a while.
Oh, yeah. But he went through his stats and 0 bullets fired, 0 accuracy, nothing. It's crazy what people will do.
Oh, wasn't there that guy that got to level 99 with Cloud and Barrett before leaving the first reactor? in Final Fantasy 7.
It took him like 97 hours or something.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, the rest of the game would be a cakewalk, but the game's not that difficult as it is. And he probably still struggled to beat Ruby and Emerald Weapon.
I mean, you could have just put the Game Shark cheats on or whatever they are, right? And just use that.
Did you guys ever have... You guys never had the NES, did you?
No.
When I was a kid, we had the track and field mat. So it was this big mat that you'd lay down. It looked like a DDR mat that you'd use to play the track and field game. And the best one was you do the long jump. You're supposed to hit A and B repetitively, like just run in place on top of it, and then jump up as high as you can and then land back down on the mat. It didn't take us long to figure out that you run, and then jump off the mat, and your guy would just go, whee! Just continue sailing forever.
That was well made.
Oh, yeah. Easy to abuse. Wonder if I could beat Mega Man using that.
I sense a new series. Eric beats Mega Man.
With a coffee cup.
Slightly unrelated, but I saw a band once that part of the way through their set, they started playing this song where they programmed some Guitar Hero controllers into some synthesizers, and they played the entire song with their Guitar Hero controllers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really, really cool.
That is quite impressive.
Another shout out for one of our listeners who sent me some... I've gotten a lot of old games in the past month. Kind of went on this spending spree. But Adam Wood posted a picture. Apparently his uncle dropped off a Super Nintendo with a bunch of boxed games. And I just put an offhand comment in there. I'm like, yeah, I'll take this, this, and this. And he ended up sending them to me. So he sent me Illusion of Gaia, Secret of Mana, the Seventh Saga in box for Super Nintendo. And then he sent me, when he sent me the tracking info, he's like, hey, I just threw what I consider to be the best Game Boy game of all time in there. I just replied stupidly, oh, dear God, please be race driving. So I open up the package, pull out Illusion of Gaia, pull out Secret of Mana, pull out Seventh Saga, and guess what Game Boy game it is? Race.
Supermodel.
Race driving.
Race driving.
You remember that game, Dan?
Is that the terrible one?
Oh, yeah. The one where I don't even know if we did a video on it. Because I was looking through our YouTube, but man, that game was bad. The Game Boy version
it's been so long.
It's the one where the track just kind of like willy-nilly goes up into the sky and there's loop-de-loops and you're going like through a
barn. There was a barn, wasn't there? Yeah.
Yeah, and the box art makes it look way more intense than it really is.
Yes, I remember now.
The Game Boy version is surprisingly not as terrible as I expected it to be. I probably played it for 45 minutes to an hour when I first got it. But for me, it's
simpler times.
It's a gem.
Did me and Mike ever get fan mail, and are you just redirecting it?
No, never. We get a
I'm
lot of.
everyone's
You guys get a
favorite.
lot of hate mail.
Excellent.
Good.
I will take it. At least it's a reaction.
We're English and pessimistic. We like that.
Yes. So huge thank you to Adam for that. I am sending something to him as a thank you. I'm sure he'll post a picture of that when he gets it. Maybe.
Is it your dick in a box?
Ah, well, that means I'd have to.
Close, it's a poo in a box.
Yeah, there you go.
Something randomly came up on my Facebook the other day as an ad where you can just send someone an actual bag of dicks.
Yeah.
And they're like gummy dicks, but it also gives them a voucher code for 20% off their own bag of dicks. Like, if you're going to send a bag of dicks to someone, why?
I know you say that's random, but
Facebook
is targeted at you, so something you've looked at in the past has made you see that advert.
Bag of dicks on Pornhub.
So
Excellent.
You can send somebody custom chocolates molded in the shape of your own butthole.
Oh yeah, I've seen that as well.
Delightful.
Oh, these chocolates are great.
It's the Valentine's gift that keeps on giving.
A little bit of a chocolate starfish. Why does it keep coming back to shit?
I don't know.
No,
I
we're
really
obsessed.
don't know.
We're obsessed.
We are. We had a list of things to make sure we talked about. Oh, we did another giveaway in the past month. Mike, you want to talk about that?
Sure.
Sure.
I do.
You sound like one of the chickens from Oddworld.
Meow. Hello, stranger! Stranger!
Oh, stranger!
I couldn't do any voices last time. I was too hungover.
Oh,
What do you do that for, you stinky turd?
I'm not hungover today, so we're all good. Hazel is, though. Hazel! Hazel got back this morning, literally 5 minutes after my alarm went off for work.
Wow.
Like, just trashed.
Mike,
Trashed.
just put me in the cupboard in the darkness, please.
She was, for some reason, concerned about me going to work, and she was just like, have you got any lunch? And I was like, yes. But have you got enough? And I was like, Hazel, go to bed.
have you got enough? That's a good wife right there. Do you have lunch? Yes. Follow
That's
question.
not a half bad impression, actually.
No, that's how she actually did it this morning. She was so like... Anyway, yes, giveaway. So we, basically for our Patreon... Donators? Patreons? Patreons. For our basically the people who donate to us on Patreon, we did a completely random giveaway. We didn't announce it or beforehand or anything like that. Just a random giveaway, and we gave away a copy of the brand new Shadow of the Colossus.
And I won it. Because I am a Patreon supporter. Not really.
Supporter, that's the word I was looking for. Anyway, so yeah, congratulations to Tiny Spindash, who won that. I believe he's enjoying it.
Had to figure out the logistics of getting it to Germany, but we did it.
Yeah, we did. He even got a pre-order code for some bits and bobs as well.
Bits and bobs.
Because we ordered it literally the day before it came out, so...
Yeah. So if you want to support us on Patreon, patreon.com/factorysealed, I think is how you can find us. Yes, that's it. So along with that, not to segue, we usually do this at the end, but since we're talking about it now, any donation gets you access to the Factory Sealed Unwrapped, which is just anywhere from 2 minutes to, like today, half an hour of just bullshit before the show actually starts.
It's sometimes even worse than the actual show.
Oh, God. It's just a big pot of drool.
Which is difficult to do, but we manage it.
Yeah, we got there. So if you are a supporter, you also get entry into additional giveaways, like Mike just talked about, and a bunch of other fun little stuff. So,
and the past has shown that people who donate tend to win.
Ooh, nothing like stacking the pot in your favor, huh?
Yes.
Another remake came out in the past month that apparently is garbage. The Secret of Mana remake.
Oh, yeah.
Is it not good?
I bought it, didn't open it.
Oh, I am shocked to my core.
I know. Sorry. I bought it. Oh, and another remake came out for DS. This one I actually
7.
genuinely think if you own a 3DS, you owe it to yourself to pick this one up. The Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology remake. What a fantastic game. I haven't opened it, but the original is fantastic.
Never played it.
You would, Dan, I honestly think you would genuinely enjoy it.
I probably would. I like an RPG, as we know.
Well, this is it's kind of along the lines of Final Fantasy X-2 without the stupidity where you're time traveling and what you do in one timeline affects what happens in the other timeline.
Oh, you'll have my attention.
But they've added a really interesting feature that I don't know how I feel about this. Do you guys remember when Bravely Default came out and how they had that slider for turning battles on and off all willy-nilly?
No, I don't.
So Bravely Default, you could turn battles off whenever you wanted. So if you're at the depth of a dungeon right before a boss and you go, crap, I don't have any potions, you can turn the slider off to 0 battles, walk your happy ass all the way back to town, restock, walk all the way back to where you were, turn battles back on, and continue on your way.
Oh, but that in an RPG to me would mean you are underleveled.
Exactly. So Radiant Historia actually took it a step further, and you can just avoid battles altogether. So the enemies are still there. When you walk up and touch them, they die, and you get all their loot, and you just continue on your way.
Jesus Christ.
The point, and this is where I'm kind of...
I sense a Dan
torn.
Maud joke coming.
Shit. I was going to go there, but now that you've made it, I'm a little torn on it. I kind of like the idea because as I get older and have more games to play, I have less time to play them. And as we all know, RPGs generally take up the most amount of time. The developers
generally helps if you open them, though, mate. You know,
I mean, that's the first step is recognizing you have a problem, and I have a problem.
My name is Eric, and I'm a sealer.
Hey, Zach will back me up on this.
Can I tell you
Zackleback.
about Mega
Is that
Man
like
instead?
Is Zackleback a Nickelback tribute act?
Oh God, with everybody in the band whose name is Zach.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, so the developers are talking about they did this intentionally so people could enjoy the story, the game in a much more succinct manner. If you don't have 60 hours to dump into this game and you just want to experience the game and its story, that's what this mode's
This
for.
is bullshit, though. Like, just play the game over a longer period of time. There is no rush
agree.
to finish it.
I agree.
It's just shit. It's just
agree.
you're not good. You're not getting the full experience. Like, there seems to be this mentality with people nowadays where you kind of have to finish a game and move on to the next one.
Hang on, I remember you giving me shit for taking so long with Horizon.
I do too.
Yeah, because that took you 3 years.
Hey Dan, do you want to know how
Yes, I
far
had
I
it
am
before it
into
came out.
Persona?
I believe you probably got to the school and stopped.
I'm 3 hours in, so I'm still in the tutorial.
Wow.
So that's
well
important
done.
to note. I unwrapped a game in the past month.
Well done.
I opened it.
I think you'll get really into that if you do it.
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to just be strictly objective. I'm trying to avoid your level of hype and everybody else's level of hype just to make sure that I see the game for what it is. I might still be early enough into it where I don't really grasp what drew everybody into it, but it's interesting. I definitely like the style.
Yeah, it is a very stylish game.
Yeah.
Have you even got to the battle system yet?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm back in the castle for the second time.
All right, okay.
So definitely unique. I don't know if I'll dump 180 hours into it like you have.
120, actually.
Oh, you're getting there.
I got to the end of my New Game Plus playthrough, and there's a trophy for maxing out all of your friendships, and I've got them all apart from one, and I've reached the point of no return, and it's really irritating.
Oh, so you can't go back?
I can't go back.
So you have to do a new game plus plus?
Yes.
Oh.
There are worse things in life.
Yes, like a backlog 10,000 games deep.
Yeah, well, if you open them,
I can't. I just can't.
I just can't
I mean,
do it.
you can.
No.
Yes, you
So I
can.
actually almost bought a sealed copy of a game I've been looking for years. Did you guys ever hear of the PS1 game Azure Dreams?
The name rings a bell.
No.
Kind of an interesting game in
Is it Azure?
yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, I've heard it. I thought you said As Your Dreams as in AS.
No, Azure.
Wait, yeah, no, I've definitely heard of it, yeah.
Kind of a roguelike game where you go into this tower and fight your way through it, and as you die, you technically start the entire game over. Really interesting concept. Found a sealed copy of it, and I asked him to see it because I'm gonna buy this, and the seal was torn just a little bit. I'm like, guys, it's not technically sealed anymore. They wanted $115 for it. I offered them $80, and they said no.
$80.
Dollars for a game I would never open. Dan, it's a sickness.
You do have a problem.
It is an absolute sickness. I think I have
I'm a
like
member of a podcast called Factory Sealed and anything, but Jesus Christ, man.
yeah. I mean, I probably have like 30-ish sealed games still.
I have the wrapping off when I'm in the car.
Yeah, I just don't.
I miss the old days of being able to read the instruction booklet on the way home.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, that nice manual smell.
I mean, there are definitely people out there who have more sealed games than I do. I know Zach definitely does. Ben Schrader definitely does.
I know people like to collect things. I know that's fair enough, but for me, a game needs to be played. It's not something I'm interested in. But
Yeah,
if
Dan has his collection of Final Fantasy clocks.
Yes, I
and
do.
Pillows.
I have 2 of them.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, I don't know.
believe
I see it as
2 people bought me the same gift. It's ridiculous.
I see it as a collection thing where, I display it, and it's kind of neat to have in your collection of, hey, this is still sealed, because if I have an avenue to play it a different way, then great. It's not like I'm intentionally going out and buying brand new games and not opening them. Well, actually, I am.
Yeah, you've literally just told us a story about how you nearly did that. So,
well, I just did it with 2 games. I bought Secret of Mana and Radiant History on the day they came out, and they're just sitting on the shelf, never to be opened. I'm sorry.
you're just buying a box. That's all you're doing.
Yeah, but it's what's in the box. There could be a pile of dog shit in there, and I would never know.
I know.
It could even be a boat.
So what really bothers me is I've bought games before, and they have a loose disc in them. It's like, if I want to keep this sealed, that disc is loose. That instantly
happens a
ruins the
lot now.
value. Yeah. It was like the time I bought Borderlands, and there just wasn't a disc in it. It was still sealed, no disc. I took it back to Target. I'm like, you guys are not going to believe. You're just not going to believe this, but you have to take my word for it. There was no disc in this game.
Did they believe you?
They did.
Oh,
Idiots.
let's try that more often.
Yeah.
A friend of mine got he went to buy the original Champions of Norath in pre-owned for about £5, and they give him Champions Return to Arms instead.
Which
in
is
the
a
box.
vastly superior game.
It is, yes.
Speaking of which, we really should play through those games for the show.
Oh, they're so good.
Oh, God.
I've devoted so many hours to that playing co-op. My God.
Didn't you and I at one time try to see if we could get the online play for those to work?
I don't think so. I think that was a different game.
Oh, no, I was trying with my buddy Scott. We were trying to play it, and apparently, obviously, the servers are down. 17-year-old game.
Don't know what you were expecting, really.
No kidding. I wonder if you could do it on a PS2 emulator. Because those games are genuinely more fun multiplayer.
They are. Me and my friend just used to always fight over the loot. As soon as something popped out, we'd be running towards it. Even if it was in the middle of danger, you'd still just run in.
Oh,
try
yeah.
to get this stuff.
I would do that to Scott all the time.
Slightly better.
Because he was always the ranged person, and I was always right up in everybody's grill, just stealing loot. And like, oh, this is a weapon for you. You want it? You want it? Nah, sell. We struggled to get through those games.
And then if you had a really powerful character who was leveled up max, you could cheat the system by playing 2-player and then getting somebody who was really underleveled on a higher level playthrough, and they'd level up about 20 levels per enemy or something. It was ridiculous.
There was a lot of item duplicating glitches in those games too, like the Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance, and Dark Alliance 2. You could duplicate items and level yourself up really quick.
I always liked Champions better than Baldur's Gate.
I agree. I liked the story in Baldur's Gate better, but the gameplay in Champions was vastly superior. Mike, did you ever play those games?
I did not.
I was just a huge fan of dungeon
Mike Tyson
crawlers.
and not playing game, shocker.
Breaking
Well,
news.
we all know I'm here for my charm, my wit, and my hair. Hey, you guys invited me on.
I know,
You
right?
just kind of never left.
Kind of that guy who keeps hanging round.
Have there been any good dungeon crawlers recently? I played the holy hell out of Sacred 2. Sacred 1 on PC was okay. Sacred 2 on PS3 was fantastic. Apparently, Sacred 3 is a hot turd.
No, I don't know. I haven't really seen any.
I mean, aside from Diablo 3, but it's kind of
Binding of Isaac kind of counts, I guess.
No, kind of, yeah. But it's kind of a dying genre. Great couch
Wasn't it
co-op.
that thing with Diablo this week where everyone thought that they were going to either do a new Diablo or no. Everyone thought they were going to bring Diablo. I think it was 3 to Switch because there was something to do with.
Oh yeah, I saw
something
this
on their Twitter page.
Yeah,
and basically the creators of Diablo 3 had to come out and say, no, you guys are actually ahead of the curve on this. We're not that clever. We haven't even started thinking about doing that for Switch.
what a great game to have on Switch, though. Like RTSs on the Switch would be awesome.
Oh yeah, using the touchscreen and stuff might be quite cool.
Yeah. We should try to
Speaking
find
of
a
Switch
Go ahead.
and news on it. Zach Foley actually put on our usual post for comments and stuff. I thought this would fit nicely here. He said, not Gaia related, but I think we have to talk about the Switch revelation that gameplay data is only storing for a year, as made known today as its 1-year birthday. Nintendo's calling it a bug, but I think this represents yet again the obliviousness of Nintendo as it pertains to how modern day games consoles should work. So if you guys didn't see this, basically, the Nintendo Switch keeps track of all your hours that you've played on each game.
Uh-huh.
The people that have had it for a year, basically their hours have just been lost.
Oh.
And Nintendo are saying that basically it's a bug in the system that they're going to look at, but they
yeah,
haven't confirmed whether basically people will get their hours back once it's fixed or not.
Inconvenient, yes, but if you haven't lost game data, it don't really matter, does it?
True, yeah. A lot of people are angry at Nintendo about it, but I think it's probably just an oversight.
People are angry at everything nowadays.
I mean,
I've lost my counter. Now my friends can't see that I put 1,000 hours into Stardew Valley. Monty Glover.
Yeah, I'm still angry that Christmas is a thing, so...
that what's a thing?
Yes.
Christmas is a thing.
You've got thousands of years of tradition to overcome there, Mike. I mean, the Switch as a whole felt... It was kind of a rushed system, so I could see how they overlooked it.
Think of it like the Millennium Bug. No one knew what was going to happen when the clocks got to 99 and was going to go past there.
It'd go to 2000.
Yeah, but no, it has to be an oversight. I don't think they would have done that on purpose.
For anybody who's not old enough to remember that, what a stupid time to be alive.
I know,
It was
right?
so dumb.
I had no idea what it was about, and I just thought everybody was going to die of some kind of virus or something.
My dad had just gotten his master's in computer science and was working in the computer industry. He's like, this is the dumbest thing in the world. People are freaking out everywhere about it. He's like, it's just going to flip to 2000 and it's going to be the next day.
And he was right.
He was right.
He was right, yeah. No one died, as far as I know.
For all I know, he was panicking
I'm sure
at night.
somebody probably did.
Yeah. Oh, there was also that other thing about the Switch this week as well, that Nintendo have basically said they're not looking at doing any kind of upgraded Switch. So, everyone thought they might do a Switch XL or Switch Lite or whatever. They're basically going to concentrate on peripherals to go into the USB-C.
Like cardboard.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, they're going to concentrate on peripherals for it.
It's out soon, Labo, isn't it?
Nintendo haven't been in touch with me about Lavo yet, so that's disappointing.
Wonder why.
I'm sure they're working on it behind the scenes, Mike.
Unless they've contacted the wrong
Hey,
one.
you could make your own.
Yeah, where's the fun in that?
True.
I want some Nintendo quality cardboard.
You can do it, Michael.
not an old frozen chip box from behind the back of the pub.
It'll do.
Did we have anything else on our list of shit to talk about before Illusion of Gaia, guys?
I think we hit them all.
I see what you did there. You used two things in one.
Do you like that?
I did. It was marvelous.
Oh, man.
It was like shampoo and conditioner in the same bottle.
That never works.
Yeah. What you gain in time, you lose in body.
It was like cheese on chips. It was marvelous.
Oh, yeah.
Or ketchup on macaroni and cheese.
Ah, yeah. With
applesauce.
Nah.
Yeah. Gravy granules in a sandwich.
What?
You going to the beach and getting your sandwiches? Good Lord, man.
Is that an actual thing, or were you being...
I had a friend, honestly, who used to eat gravy granule sandwiches.
What?
I don't know.
Dan, your
Really
mic
don't
just
know.
suddenly went really bad.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're using your onboard laptop mic now.
I'm on it. Don't panic.
Oh God.
Oh God,
Something's
gonna happen here.
Mic trouble now.
Mike Tyson trouble or microphone trouble or both?
Little from column A, little from column B.
Woo!
Are we back?
Yeah. What
Yeah,
happened?
you're good.
Did you unplug it because you were laying down?
I did, yeah.
Oh man.
I did well.
I'm Ted Curtis and I put in minimal effort.
I'm so relaxed I have to lay down while I record the show. Otherwise, my bones get weary.
I hit my head, gotta lay down and rest. All right. So should we move on to our game of the week-ish show-ish
Game
month?
of the month. It's never the game of the week, technically, is it?
Month. Well, it's this week's game, so technically. What the fuck? The lights in my office just all randomly turned on.
Y2K.
It's that damn computer bug! It's 17
Alexa,
years late!
It's Alexa, she's taking over.
I didn't say Alexa. I mean, it's a very specific... It's a specific instruction. It's like, Alexa, turn office lights on.
Did you download the
They just
Pikachu
came
thing
on.
for the Pokemon birthday, Eric?
No, what are you talking about?
Because it was Pokemon's birthday the other day, and they released a thing on Alexa where you can download it, and it's Pikachu's voice.
What?
Yeah.
Alexa, download Pikachu's voice.
And it's completely useless, because obviously all it does is goes, Pikachu!
That sounds dumb.
Yeah. Your kids might like it. If your kids like Pikachu.
Also sounds brilliant though.
You know what my daughter likes is that Cats game that I bought her, and holy God, that game is a flaming pile of garbage.
Yeah, kids are stupid, though, aren't they?
Oh, God, it's so bad. You know the Meow Mix theme song? Where it's
surprised you
meow,
wouldn't
meow,
let her
meow,
play
meow,
anything
meow, meow,
apart
meow,
from-
meow. That's
from Mega
basically the theme song.
Excellent.
And the cat just walks around and you poke it with the stylus. That's it.
Oh,
That's the whole game.
Don't poke the wrong end, do you?
You can pet the wrong end, and it goes...
Oh, yeah, that happens with my cat.
What, it expels farts?
It purrs. Yes. No, this week we are revisiting The Illusion of Gaia for the Super Nintendo.
Hooray!
The illusion of Gaia. I'm done.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
You good? You sure?
Yeah. I'm
You sure?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. This game for Super Nintendo came out in Japan in 93, North America in 94, Europe in 95. And
I don't like us.
I believe in Europe it was called Illusion of Time,
Oh, really?
as well as in Japan.
Oh, interesting.
Europe
Yes.
and Australia is illusion of time.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I wonder why.
This is part of a quintet of games. The
Quintology.
of Heaven and Earth, creation of Heaven and Earth with Soul Blazer, Terranigma, Illusion of Gaia, and then Grand Stream Saga.
Do these games, they're part of the quintology, do they kind of link story-wise, or they're a bit like Final Fantasy, where they're all completely different?
Loosely, there are some references in Illusion of Gaia to Soul Blazer, mainly in that the comet that we'll talk about later was a direct reference to a weapon that was used during the Blazer Wars in Soul Blazer.
Did we finish Soul Blazer?
We did not.
I didn't think we had, because I couldn't remember it at all.
But if you've played Soul Blazer, Illusion of Gaia will feel very familiar.
Yes.
Exact same combat, same sound effects, same visual style. Yeah. I'm trying to look up to make sure I have the order right. I believe Terranigma's first. I want to find this out first real quick. So
Didn't Terranigma come out last?
maybe it did. No, I think Grand Stream Saga came out last.
Because Terranigma was never made it to America, did it?
Terranigma did not, but I have a repro cart of that on the way.
Oh.
Yeah. I gotta find that. Hold on. Fill the dead air while I find this, guys.
Doodloo, 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 doo. Doodloo, 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 doo, doo. Doo, 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 doo.
That's not.
That's just hold music.
Doodloo, doodloo, doo.
Have you thought about the factory sealed pension scheme?
Donate all your pennies to Patreon and we'll send you your own Nintendo Lavo.
One of the factory sealed team will be with you within 5 minutes.
We will.
Ain't there's one of those bastards on the line again.
Oh, I'm gonna keep them on hold a bit longer.
They want to send us all of their money. We can open up another gosh darn cheeseburger company.
All right, I have the order. Are you ready?
Excellent. Good.
Soul Blazer.
Mm-hmm.
Illusion of Gaia.
Uh-huh.
Terranigma.
Ooh.
Grand Stream Saga.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, how many games did you say then?
4.
Didn't you say it was a quintology?
Quadrology?
I say
Oh no, it's
quintology's
from
5.
the company is Quintet.
Oh.
So was there meant to be a 5th game and they never made it?
I don't know.
Maybe
It's kind of like
that's the
Oddworld
illusion.
with their quintology of games. They made 2.
And then started remaking them.
And technically Abe's Exodus wasn't part of that then.
Yep.
Yep.
So-
yep.
So I was being stupid while she was saying the game orders. Can you say them again?
Standard.
Soul Blazer.
Uh-huh.
Illusion of Gaia.
Guys.
Terranigma.
Terranigma.
Grand Stream Saga. Shut up, Dan.
I got it that time.
And I actually just bought a copy of Grand Stream Saga a couple weeks ago. I found it on PS1. Looks like shit. But I'm excited to play it because it kind of ties in with all of this. Illusion of Gaia kind of builds on that same concept of Soul Blazer, adding a little bit more story, because Soul Blazer is a little bit sparse in the story department in that there really wasn't any. You kind of were left to figure it out for yourself. You were just dropped into this world where everything had disappeared, and you have to go down into these dungeons and help rebuild it a la Dark Cloud 2 style. But Illusion of Gaia follows a specific character who has a name and a group of friends. And if you think about the time that this game takes place, it's probably right around, 1600s, the advent of exploring the world, right? Mm-hmm. You know, because there's several references to Christopher Columbus and other explorers.
Yeah, that really confused me at first because I was like, this game seems like heavy fantasy, but then they started referencing the real world, and I was like, huh?
Yeah, it is definitely a pseudo variation of the real world. You know, kind of stylized. Things obviously aren't in the correct place, which we'll get to later. But Will leaves school one morning and stumbles into this dark space.
Doesn't he stumble into it on the roof, though?
Yeah. It's like, I'm just going to go up to the roof and jump off, guys. Don't worry about it. So apparently that's what he likes to do. He's known in town for jumping off buildings. And he meets this entity in there called Gaia. And she basically reveals to him that that there's a comet coming and he needs to save the world.
I thought
Do you
that
know
was a bloke.
how the school was completely changed from the Japanese version? Because apparently in the Japanese version, there's quite a few religious references that were changed for the European and American version.
I heard this.
Yeah.
So supposedly the school that you start in the Japanese version is a Sunday school. It's run by a priest and held in a Christian church. And there's a cross in there, which in the US and EU version, it's replaced with a statue.
Yep. Because
Apparently the priest, because he's a teacher in our version, isn't he? The priest in the Japanese version, when you speak to him, he would lead you into a prayer.
yeah, instead of the teacher reciting poems and
Yeah.
there's a part later in the game where Will and Kara make a reference to like, this is what it must be like to be God, and they change that. So Nintendo of America.
This is what it must be like to be a dog.
It doesn't make sense, but it's not religious. We'll go with it. So, combat's pretty simple. Basic action RPG style game.
Real-time combat.
Real-time combat. As you kill enemies, you acquire orbs that once you collect 100 of them, you get basically another life.
Is that what that did? I did wonder.
Yeah, so up at the top, when you collect, like the big orbs were worth 5, and then the small ones were worth 1. Yes. So if you collect up to 100, then the number on the left would switch to 1, 2, 3, 4, so on, and the number on the right would go up to 99, and then once it crusted over, it gave you another one on the left. And if you die, it just resets you back at the entrance of the room that you last died in.
See, I spent the entire game wondering what the hell I was collecting them for, but yeah.
Yeah. Didn't you ever die? And he's like, oh, man, I felt strange about that, and here I am.
What a terrible night for a curse.
Wrong game,
game,
Mike.
sorry.
Yeah. Wrong game. Yeah, like I said, the combat's pretty simplistic. As you advance through the game, you can change into different characters. Frieden, and then very late in the game, another character called Shadow.
Don't you mean Friedan? Friedan Curtis.
They can never take our Friedan.
I just, all the way through just going, why is he called Friedan?
Frieden.
And why can he turn into him? Like, why?
We'll get to
So-
that.
So what was, just this is probably jumping forward a little bit, but what is Shadow? Because I was going to finish the game this afternoon, but then because Dan...
We'll get to that. We got to introduce some of the
Okay.
other characters here because that's actually relevant to what's going on. Early in the game, the princess escapes from the castle just north of South Cape where Will and all of his buddies live, makes it down to South Cape, and then just randomly goes into Will's house and meets his grandparents and has some weird snail pie. She meets...
I think there was something wrong with my version of the game, you know.
Why?
Because you're about Kara, right?
Yeah.
The version I had, all of her dialogue, like, it was the exact same thing every single time.
What?
Yeah, hang on. I wrote it down. Hang on. It said,
Not.
wah, 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 I'm
Oh,
a little bitch. Where, I'm a little bitch.
He's prepared for this one.
Like, I heard the turning of pages. He actually made notes.
No, there was a piece of paper on the table I picked up.
You're not wrong. She is definitely the bitchy princess type, but it lends itself well to that aspect of the story and having that type of person with you on this global adventure. But anyway, we skipped a part. At the very beginning, you learn that Will, his father, Ullman, was an adventurer who had gone to the Tower of Babel. And Will was with...
Gary Oldman.
Ullman.
The Tower of Bagel.
Gary Oldman wants a bagel.
Finally, it all makes sense.
I knew this story was going somewhere.
Sorry, I keep throwing you off, Eric.
Their expedition goes horribly wrong. Everybody dies except Will. Will somehow manages to make it all the way back across the world to his small hometown. He is determined to make it back to the Tower of Babel someday to find out what happened to his dad.
He found a bagel, and then he was very happy, obviously.
Wants to return to the tower to get some cream cheese.
Yeah. The king
Possibly
thinks
some salmon.
that Gary Oldman has some sort of special power through a ring and wants it, so he sends his knights down to raid Will's house after Will tells him, no, I don't have this, and gets imprisoned. Will escapes from the prison, collects Kara. They go on this adventure across the world trying to collect these mystic statues that will grant them access to the Tower of Babel to stop the comet from destroying the world. That's the story in a nutshell.
Mystic statues to get bagels.
Good question.
I mean, he could have just popped to the shops and saved himself some bother, really.
Because the mystic statues allow Will and Kara to do their thing on the comet and become the guy that stops the comet.
What?
Do we want to
Honestly,
talk about the end?
like,
Literally,
not
do we want
to
to
go
talk
to-
about the ending right now, or do we want to go through
No.
parts of the game?
No, right now I need to talk about this because
question.
hang on,
Sorry,
hang
my
fire, Mike.
internet
I am
took a dump and I
speaking.
missed
Shut
everything
up.
Eric just said about statues.
Excellent, excellent. So I all the way through this game had many times where I literally did my what thing. I had no idea what was happening. It was mental.
Yeah, me too.
But it's not bad.
No, it's not bad. It's just I don't get the plot. It's strange. Like they just kind of going from place to place for the crack. Yes, they're looking for these mystic statues, but they go from place to place with no idea where the mystic statues are, without any idea of how they will find them. And
Well,
what they
no,
will
think
find
about
there.
this,
And
think about
the
this.
supporting cast are entirely pointless. You could do without them.
No, you can't.
Yes, you
So
can.
as Will is going through the first dungeon under the castle, there is a dandelion floating around that helps him out. She reveals herself to be Lily, who
I thought
aids.
she was a dandelion.
Does she want a bagel?
She wants to go to the Tower of Bagel.
Say
So is she a
bagel
lily
with-
or is she a dandelion?
She's a crossbreed dandelion Lily, which is why
How
she
does
lives in
How
a
does she feel about bagels?
fucking shut up.
She's a dandelion.
Bagels.
Does she prefer butter or some sort of sunflower spread?
She's really kind of a boring person, just likes them toasted dry.
Does she drink dandelion and burdock?
Yes. She helps Will out of the dungeon. Will goes and grabs Kara because Kara wants to escape from the castle because she doesn't like being confined, yet she's this really bitchy princess who loves to live the lavish lifestyle but wants to not have that while still having it at the same time.
Is that because they don't have bagels there?
Maybe Gary Oldman needs to be king and everybody can have bagels. Who knows?
I think
Too
that's
busy
what
being
it's all
commissioner
about.
of. He's
Yeah.
too busy being a commissioner of Gotham, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
And Winston Churchill.
So Lily...
And Sirius Black, actually.
To prove Mike's point, the supporting cast of characters is not pointless.
What?
But,
No, that was
I've
Dan who
never
said
done-
that.
Yeah, it was me.
Well, it sounded like Mike.
I've never known an RPG, though, where the supporting cast don't do anything.
No, okay,
Like, you
so
can't
stop.
use them.
If you'd stop talking about bagels and let me get to the point.
Wait, do you say bagels weirdly as well?
He
Bagel.
does, yes.
Bagel.
Yeah, bagel.
The
Fuck, what's wrong with how I say bagel?
Bagel, you goon.
Come to Eric's new store, Vag Bagels.
Vagels.
I'm done. Let's just end there.
Meet the manager, Crag.
Craig's bagels. Steer clear of that case. They've got that Vag plague.
We should go there. I hear Gary Oldman likes to shop there.
I'm Gary Oldman for Craig's Vag Bagels. What the fuck's going on?
Anyway, the supporting cast do something. They
Yes, they
basically
do.
all just make everything fucking worse. Where
No.
I got up to, people just fuck off. Like, Kara fucks off, you have to go and find her in a fucking painting. Like, Lance gets rejected, he gets cock-blocked and he disappears off. And
But everything
pain in
they
the
do
arse.
serves to advance the story to the next location. So Dan is saying, "Oh, they're just
Well,
going
yeah, it
around the
needs
world
it,
all
'cause
willy nilly." What?
There are certain bits where it just jumps to wherever. Oh, we spent this amount of time in a cave. Oh, we then spent this amount
Well,
of
do
time
you
on a
really
raft
want
and
to
got
walk
fucking
through a
scurvy.
cave for 3 months in a video
Yeah, but
game?
it's so strange to have that. Like, the bit on the raft, I was like, where did this come from? And then
Okay.
it goes, then Will goes, oh, I developed feelings for Kara, and then never mentioned again in the rest of the game.
What do you mean they never talk about it the rest of the game? They basically bump uglies and turn into somebody at the end of the game.
Yes, at
Spoilers.
the end, but for the rest of it, they just don't reference it.
Because she's such a bitch.
Yeah, she is.
She fobbed him off for a bagel.
I think you've lost him.
I think we've ruined Illusion of Gaia.
This is one of my favorite games from childhood, and I'm not going to be able to think about this damn game without bagels.
It's bagels, you goon.
Bagel.
Not bagel.
Bagel.
A gaggle of bagels.
Just a bunch of geese eating bread.
Do you think when he's at the shop, the person behind the counter goes, "Do you want me to bagel this up for you?"
Can you bagel up that bagel for me, please?
It's descended into madness.
So Lily, the dandelion tulip lady from the flower bed, helps Will escape from the dungeon and takes them to her invisible village.
Do they have bagels there?
Invisible.
Are they invisible bagels? Did Gary Oldman go to the invisible village when he couldn't find the invisible bagel, so he had to go to the Tower of Bagel
to get more bagels?
Bagel's main competition is from InvisiBagels.
Can't see them, but they're damn good.
Carry on, Eric. I do apologize.
No, you're just going to talk about fucking bagels. I'm trying to talk about a weird little girl who turns into a dandelion puff and hides in Will's pocket. You're right. This game makes no fucking sense.
If there was a bagel in there.
Shut up. I'm going to mute you.
Right, I'm done. I'm good.
I mean, that was my point that we finally got to, was each character serves a purpose to drive them to the next location. Lily takes them to her invisible village, which just happens to be by your first dungeon where you find this demon that's holding the mystic statue. But they tell you in the village, yeah, there's a mystic statue here, go find it. And then you get it, and as you drop down, you discover these Incas were trying to escape this oncoming disaster by building this gold ship and getting out of Dodge. Well, they all died before that happened, so when Will lands...
Why would you build a ship out of gold?
Excess. It's the land of excess.
Doesn't sound very buoyant, though.
I don't know. I think if you have enough of something, it'll displace enough water to stay afloat.
I mean, yeah, but if they fill it up with bagels, it's going to sink.
Not a heavy item, though, a bagel, is it?
It depends how many you have, really. But it sounds like there's not many in Illusion of Gaia's world, to be honest, so...
There's a lot of snail pie and shit like that.
Can we talk about Grandma's pie?
Oh, yeah. So I think there's something wrong with Grandma, because his Grandpa Bill makes a comment. He's like, yeah, her cooking's getting a bit strange recently, but I don't have the heart to tell her. Like, is that a reference to her just going crazy or Alzheimer's or something?
Probably. It was probably changed between the releases.
Either that or she's trying to kill him.
Possibly.
But anyway, Grandma Lola and Grandpa Bill are in the invisible village as well. And that's where Kara decides. Lily went and found him and took him there. Because the king was going to go raid Will's house for Ullman's treasure.
I thought she was in Will's pocket.
Well, she can transform between a dandelion puff and a weird-looking girl.
That's useful.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're on the gold ship, and then Will wakes up to the gold ship being attacked, and it's in fact not a gold ship. Everybody on there is dead, and it's being attacked by a giant sea creature known as Riverson.
Yes.
Which supposedly is a translation error. It was supposed to be Leviathan.
Yes.
Well, they were close.
Not even. And Seth, I think Seth flies off.
Seth Rogen.
Yes.
Is he after bagels as well?
Has he smoked too much pot and... after a bagel with Gary Oldman.
He gets eaten by Riverson, and later in the game has become Riverson, which no explanation whatsoever.
I think that means he is Sin of Final Fantasy X.
I was going to say that.
Maybe this game bridges that gap.
Yes.
I don't know. How do you guys want to talk about this? I don't want to just go through it sequentially because that's kind of dumb.
I think we covered all the bagel-related stuff.
Well, great. Let's move on to the non-bagel related stuff.
I thought that was the plot.
Illusion of bagels?
I think we need to talk about the Hamlet scene.
Well, who's Hamlet?
Hamlet is Kara's pet pig.
I like Hamlet. He's one of the best characters.
Doesn't say much about the rest of them, does it? Yeah, and you end up going to a village for no reason where there are people who are dying of starvation, and rather than make these poor people suffer eating their dumplings made of insects, Hamlet the pig basically just says, "Oh, I'm going now," and jumps into a fire.
Well, it saves the rest of the crew.
But
that village was another change from the American version. In the Japanese version, it was originally they were a tribe of cannibals, and all the skeletons on the ground were people that they had eaten of their own.
I kind
to
of
stay
got
alive.
that anyway, to be honest.
Yeah. But Hamlet plays an interesting role because he helps Will escape from the dungeon at the beginning of the game. But the dumbest thing is Hamlet, you've gone on this adventure trekking across the globe through these ancient ruins and across oceans and through dungeons and mines all the way to Angkor Wat, and you're out here in this village of cannibals, and this pig just moseys on up from all the way across the world. It's like, yeah, he's been on an adventure to find you guys. He's a pig.
A sacrificial pig.
I mean, it is kind of a sad moment, though, if you're being honest.
I was too baffled to be sad. That's how I felt about most of the story. It was just so disjointed and random.
What about the jackal?
Oh yeah, that guy just shows up for no reason.
No, at the beginning, right when you leave, when you see that your house has been ransacked, there's a picture of the jackal. And then Kareth makes an offhand comment about he works for my father and he'll stop at nothing to get who he's after. And you don't see him till the last 5 minutes of the game.
I mean, I didn't get to the end, and I was wondering when I was going to see him again.
Never. There's no reference to him
then
whatsoever.
He gets set on fire.
Yeah,
and
but then
dies.
his burning corpse on the ground has a smile on it, if you look.
Yes, it's pretty terrifying.
So it's really interesting, this game, in that how things piece together. So like they meet their who's Neil, his cousin, Will's cousin.
I have no idea.
He's
I
this
honestly have no
inventor who
idea.
lives out by the Incan lines,
He
or not
lives in
Incan, the Nazca lines. He's invented the airplane. He's invented scuba diving gear. You know, shit that's separated by hundreds, if not thousands, of years. The TV, a radio. It's like, yeah, just tinkering with this and invented it. Oh, by the way, let's go to this garden up in the sky.
Oh, see, I'm glad you mentioned Sky Garden. I actually, of the dungeons that I got through, that was my favourite. I liked that whole underside, overside.
See, that's always been my
that
least.
was good. I like that.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed it. So, basically, you go up into this area in the sky, and there's certain areas that you go through, and you can then jump to the underside of it, and the puzzles will basically, you have to do one thing one side to go back to the other side to then, you know, use what you've done. So there's one bit where you have to go down these speed ramps and things like that, but there's statues in the way, so you have to alter the statues from the underside, and you have to go round it in a clockwise order as well to make sure the puzzles are right, because there's areas where you have to switch characters, and I really liked that.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the dungeons in general, to be honest. I thought they were probably the best bit. And I particularly liked the mechanic where you have to wipe out all enemies in an area to get an upgrade.
Yeah, and if you press start, you can see where the enemies are, so that if you... And that's the thing that I always struggled with playing this game as a kid, is I didn't do that, so I'd get towards the end of the game like, man, this is really hard. I don't have a lot of health, and I'm struggling to get through this. And as we were playing, I think I told you guys, make sure you clear out all the enemies in every level, because you'll either get a defense, a offense, or a heart upgrade.
I didn't like when you had to switch between the different characters towards the end, though. That got a bit frustrating.
Oh, yeah, in the Great Wall, there's certain things you had to do with certain characters.
Yeah, and the stupid move where you have to twist around and to get momentum is really hard to pull off. And it has like no explanation of how to do it.
Which one?
The spin.
That's easy
The
to
spin
do.
move.
No,
It's
what do you
not.
mean? Yeah, it is. You hold down A so he charges as you're tapping L and R. And then as soon as those arrows appear, if you press it right away, whichever direction, he'll fire off in that direction. If you miss that
but
window...
When that guy explains that, he doesn't explain it right.
I'm going to quote the Daniel Curtis comment that he's made to me hundreds of times. Don't you ever just explore the controls when you first play a game?
Yeah, but those aren't basic controls, are they?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, I know. To do a move, I'll hold down A and then hammer the shoulder buttons before pressing a direction.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's easy enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Mike, you were going to say something
Bullshit.
before Dan.
I forgot what it was.
Oh,
that was it. Yeah, the thing with the enemies. You could almost use it as a kind of map as well, because I think one of the things I did dislike about the dungeons in this is some of them I think really could have done with a map, just to kind of log away. Not, you don't see the map completely, but kind of as you go through, the map should develop, because I think it'd be too easy if it was just there. But you can almost use the enemies as a kind of map. So going back to Sky Garden as a prime example, there'd be you can just see the blue faces where the enemies should be, and if you hadn't obviously killed enemies in a certain area, because I was killing everything as I went, I'd be like, well, I haven't been up to that area yet. How can I get up to that area? And that led me through it quite well.
The only one that I really struggled with is the Mountain Temple. Did you make it that far?
I finished the Great Wall. That's where I got up to.
Oh, yeah. It was the very next one. Easily my least favorite temple was the Mountain Temple. You're running around on these giant mushrooms and vines, and it's basically a gigantic maze.
I didn't mind that one.
I didn't like that one at all. I
didn't like the pyramids.
Oh, with having to use shadow to drip down through, and
and then different characters for different doors and finding things.
The one that always sticks out in my mind is one I hate the most is Moo, but I didn't have any problems with that this time. Mainly because I made a concerted effort to go through and kill every enemy up to this point, because the boss at the end of Moo.
So the vampires?
Yeah.
I got lost for ages in Moo.
Really?
Yeah. Lost for absolutely ages.
I got lost in Moo.
Interesting thing about Moo, I didn't realize this till I played through it this time, is that, do you guys know what Moo is a reference to?
Cows.
No. MU. So up until now, like, the game kind of takes you through all these ancient artifacts. You know, you're at the Incan ruins, you're in some diamond mines, you're at the Sky Garden, which is supposedly a reference to the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. You go to the Great Wall of China, Angkor Wat, pyramids, Tower of Babel, so on and so forth. But Mu is a reference to a supposed lost continent that was hypothesized to be out in the middle of the Pacific.
I did not know that, Eric.
Yeah. So there was
Do they have bagels there?
They don't.
Damn.
They don't. Yeah, there's a 19th century traveler and writer who said that in studying the Egyptians and Mesoamericans, he thought they were refugees from this lost continent of Mu, because there were some things that he discovered on the Yucatan Peninsula that discovered that the writings there were older than writings around it, so they obviously had come from here and then migrated eastward, and it's been completely debunked at that point. Like, in 200 or 300 years, how can a continent just disappear?
Oh, wow. Didn't know that. But this game has a lot of different sections which are kind of real-world things, doesn't it?
Yep.
So you got the pyramids and the what the Angkor Wat is a real place, and the Great Wall of China.
I did not like Angkor Wat. By that point, I was fed up, because you get to this room where it's just pure white light, and I'd completely forgotten that you have to find these sunglasses, and they're not in a treasure chest. Yeah. So at this point in the game, they start to introduce, oh, hey, there's just twinkling shit on the ground somewhere that you got to pick up. And you have to navigate your way through this large field of sentient bushes. And you get to the next building. You're like, great, I'm going to go in. Well, no, you're not. You're supposed to go back out into the field and make your way to the right and up into this little alcove on the side and find these sunglasses sitting on the ground.
Yeah. I wouldn't have known that if I wasn't following the walkthrough.
Yeah. And then they have those enemies that as you hit them, they move faster around the room, or these ones that separate and come back around and hit you. And
I hated those things with the extendy necks.
Yeah, because you gotta get them to stick their neck out and then hit their head off, and then they go crazy and you can hit their body.
Yeah, so irritating.
Yeah. Least favorite one right there. What do you guys think of the bosses overall?
Difficult.
I actually quite liked them.
Yeah.
I thought they were pretty good.
The ones I saw.
I thought the vampire one was totally unbalanced and really unfair.
And it only took me 3 attempts.
I remember just struggling for ages on this as a kid. I would always play through Illusion of Gaia up to the vampires and stop.
I think it's because there's 2 of them.
So the vampires are set up in this grid, kind of like Bomberman. It's almost exactly like Bomberman, where they can fly around. They shoot out fire that travels either down or across, and then they join up in the middle and they shoot out this giant electrical ball. And each vampire has a full health gauge that you have to knock both of them down. It just takes forever.
It did, and then later on you have to fight them again.
Oh god!
Oh really?
You have to fight every boss a second time.
Oh, is it a boss rush?
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah, and
the Tower of Bagel holds many bosses.
Yes. Before we get to that, though, I think it's the game itself is pretty heavy-handed on the whole preservation of the Earth, and it kind of has this crunchy hippie feel to it. Looking back on it a little bit with a more skeptical eye, they're talking about some really deep subjects to have in a Super Nintendo game, the slave trade and diamond mining and how humans and what they're doing is affecting the earth and
world hunger and things like that.
Yeah. So it's interesting that they tie all of that in. But again, looking at the whole quintology or trilogy or whatever it is, quadrology of games, that's kind of the whole point of it, is creation of heaven, earth, and preservation of the planet and the people within. So it does have a little bit of that undertone, like Watermia. How did you guys read that?
Watermia.
Kind of like Kevin Costner's Waterworld. They just decided, we want to be like the water, and we just want to float around and be everywhere. But there's this really dark underbelly, and that's kind of the thing with all of these towns, is that even though they look really pretty, even the prettiest towns have a really dark and disgusting underbelly, like the first one that you go to of Phrygia.
Oh, Watermia, that's where you play the stupid poison game.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the dark underbelly, is people play Russian cups, which is a variation of Russian roulette, where...
Russian glass, actually.
Russian glass, yeah. Where one cup has poison in it, and they take turns drinking, and somebody dies. It's like, people here gamble with their lives, and in Phrygia you discover the slave trade, and...
Yeah, but when you play Russian glass, you play against a guy who you've just met, and he gets killed, and then the next scene, you're talking to his wife, and this guy, in his will, has left you kangaroo creatures so you can cross the desert, even though you've just met him and killed him.
That's literally the point that I got to just after that, just after I got the kangaroos.
He's a nice
guy. Of
guy.
course, Mike has not yet mentioned the fact that you get scurvy at one point on this game.
I have.
Have you?
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. No.
I did. What about the raft?
Yeah, you just were talking about him loving
That's
Kara.
it. Rewind. Everyone rewind.
Just
Go
say
back.
scurvy really loud, and I'll go back and insert it in post-edit.
Scurvy!
You don't do edits.
You're right, I don't.
You just got me to shout loudly.
Yeah. Hazel's
But
probably
anyway,
up
yeah.
there going, damn
How
it.
fucking... Why is he yelling scurvy down there? Right. I do not know how you guys did not find it hilarious that he just
I did.
like he's on the raft and he just goes, bah! Oh, he's got scurvy. He just-
They're having this really sensual moment, and he just grabs his stomach and goes, "Ah!"
Oh, my teeth.
Yeah, but they've been on the boat for quite a while, and that's what happened to
Why didn't
pirates.
she get scurvy?
I don't know. Maybe she's immune.
Maybe you're immune.
He should have gotten his scurvy vaccine.
Is that what you get for being a princess? Plenty of vitamin C.
Yeah.
Should have packed some limes on their adventure. That's the problem.
Yeah. A couple of oranges, a lime. Got any more
Bagels.
You pick up plenty of herbs.
Oh, it's herb.
You picked up an herb.
No, it's an herb.
It's got a fucking H in it, Eric.
Yeah. It's silent.
No, it isn't.
Just like knife has a K. It's silent.
You want some herbs on your bagel?
Yeah. It's vaguely herbed.
Like an herb.
By the end of the game, I had 0 herbs. None. I was doing that final boss rush with no herbs.
I had to chuck them out my items to get those hieroglyph things, actually. Because I had far too many red jewels.
Weren't
I
you
never
sending the
once
jewels
filled
to
up
the
my
red
items.
jeweler?
Yeah, but I had loads off the actual pyramid section, and they were filling up all my items.
There's
so-
no way there were that many jewels in one location.
Oh
fill
yeah,
up.
I got them from the Great Wall and couldn't be bothered to go back.
You know, you can just go there. You just walk out of the Great Wall and it takes you right back to the village.
I know.
What's
Yeah,
really
but when
important, though...
You go back to Watermia after the Great Wall, because that's when you then do the Russian glass game. You literally walk past the bit where the guy's in to
Oh.
get to the poison game.
Maybe it was a different part. I don't remember.
So did you turn in enough red jewels? So we didn't even talk about this. There are these red jewels hidden all around that when you collect them, you can turn them into a red jeweler, and he gives you herbs or health upgrades. Did you collect 30 of them and turn them in at one point, Dan?
I've turned in a few. I didn't get all of them.
So did you get Frieden's Dark Friar upgrade?
I don't think so.
Oh, man, you're missing out.
I got that just before I stopped playing.
Yeah.
So, I never
So
had a chance to
good.
use it. But I am embarrassed to admit that I didn't realise they were hidden in the pots and stuff in the houses. I found one by accident a bit later on in the game. I was like, I haven't got many of these red jewels yet.
There's one sitting
they've
outside
been
in the
hidden
grass
this entire
somewhere
time.
right outside the mountain temple by the crooks, just sitting in grass. And it's like, how the hell am I supposed to know to check there?
Oh, yeah, I got the one you have to go up on the roof and then go down.
Yeah.
Is it that one? Near the slave building?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I managed to get that one. But it was
Isn't
like
there
one's
an
hidden in
optional
pots in the
dungeon
houses.
at the end.
Yeah,
You get
so
them all.
if you collect 30 of them, he upgrades your Dark Friar, which, as Frieden, if you hold attack, he shoots out this really powerful beam that will kill a bunch of stuff. If you get it upgraded and you launch that attack and then press a button again, it explodes and separates into 4 of those and spins around in a circle, which comes in great handy when you're fighting the Mummy Queen, because fuck that boss.
That was an easy boss.
Shut up. No, it was not.
I struggled not at all with that one.
Oh, man. That one got to the point where I will admit I was using an emulator, and if I would get a successful volley of attacks on her, I'd run away and save. Because I
was
didn't
doing
have...
that all the way through, to be honest, because I just wanted to finish it.
I had
so-
no health whatsoever. And in the last...
I think I spent most of the game like that, to be honest.
Cheater.
I had save and load mapped to L2 and R2 on my controller.
But to your point, yes, if you turn in 50 of them, you get instantly teleported to the Jeweler's Mansion, which is this really insane dungeon with 0 reward. I think all you get is an herb and a health upgrade. A single herb.
And herb.
And
And
her-
herb.
a herb. A herb.
So, not worth it then.
Not worth it. It's worth it to get up to 30, but you don't need to try to collect the other 20.
No, I think I got like 26.
Oh, man, you missed out.
I still made it.
Let's see.
Do Doodaloo, 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 doo.
You know, you guys could fill some of this shit in too.
I didn't know what you were doing. I thought you were about to speak.
Yeah, I thought you was
Nah,
as well.
I was like, let's see. Where do we go? What do we do?
Yeah, it sounded like you were about to say something.
I was
Let's
thinking.
talk about the ending.
Let's talk about the lead up to the ending, the Tower of Babel. So you get there and you discover
They're all out of bagels.
they are. You discover his dead father's bones in the doorway.
Cheery.
That put you right off your bagel.
And his father apparently talks to him through a flute. We forgot to talk about Will's flute.
Oh, God, yes. I didn't realise it was a flute until the ages. I thought he was using a little sword.
Yeah, he's attacking people with a flute.
Take my Yaz flute.
Yes, so his father starts talking to him. I don't remember what he says, but essentially you go in and you have to start fighting.
No bagels here.
You have to start fighting all of the bosses in order again. So after the first two, after the first one, they give you a dark space. The second one, they give you a dark space. And then you have to fight the rest of the bosses in the game without saving or regenerating health. So starting with the vampires, and you got to do...
If you die, though, and you've got those life up things, you can still start outside the room, I think.
Yeah, but you don't get full health.
Do you not?
It only starts you like halfway through your first row of health.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So then you have to do the Great Wall of China worm, and then you have to do the Mummy Queen. And then...
Mummy Queen?
Vampires.
Yeah, the Mummy Queen sucks. She is
You
awful.
haven't got that far yet.
Oh. So she's a boss that she appears when you hit her. She separates into these 8 spirits that explode out into a circle. You can't attack them, so you have to avoid them. And after they go out into this big circle, they start following you, and you have to just evade them until they reconvene back into the Mummy Queen, who will then do an attack to drop a bunch of rocks down on you or shoot an electrical bolt at you. Rinse, repeat.
That is actually incorrect, my friend.
No, it's not.
One of them in the circle is a solid one, and if you attack it, it turns
That's
back
the
into
second
Mummy
stage of the Mummy Queen. The first stage, they just come back into the center and make her. The second time, after you get her down halfway through her health, they start spinning in a circle around, and there's one in there that you have to hit that causes it to go back into the Mummy Queen.
Queen. And you can go between floors using teleporters.
Yeah. But I don't know why. I'd collected every health upgrade and defense upgrade to this point. I could only get hit 3 times from her before I would die.
Were you Will or Friedan?
I was, the last time you have to fight her as Will.
Ah, shit. It's like every time
I was Shadow the first time.
If I could go into a boss as Friedan, I'd always.
Yeah.
Freedom.
So then you make it up to the top.
Shadow, which is the third character that you haven't unlocked yet, Mike.
Oh, yeah, you said you were going to wait till later to tell me about that.
Yeah.
It's now later.
Well, can you wait a little bit later?
Oh.
Just a bit.
No.
Well, just a bit.
Right.
I mean, what do they say that Shadow is? He's just a...
It's a hedgehog, isn't he?
Yes.
With a gun.
Hedge pig.
Skates.
Hedge pig.
He's basically just this liquid monster
Yeah.
who you get access to for no reason.
He was really good for fighting the Mummy Queen because if you couldn't get away from those spirit heads, you could just turn into a blob or a puddle on the ground and then wait for them to go over you and pop back up and run away.
Oh yeah, this Shadow thing has an item tied to him which you have to equip, and then you can drip down through floors.
That sounds
Weird.
cool.
It's really annoying in the Great Wall. Really annoying.
Not the Great Wall,
Or
it's
the pyramid. Yeah.
I was going to say, I did the Great Wall and I didn't unlock Shadow.
Yeah, they have a series of 6 rooms that you have to get a hieroglyph, and each room you can use one specific person, maybe 2, to get down to the bottom of it to get the hieroglyph, and it's just a matter of guessing. Like, oh, I'm going to go in with Frieden, and maybe I can get all the way through, and maybe I can't.
Oh, speaking of rooms, that really random bit where there's that painter and he
Ishtar.
wants you to do a challenge. Ishtar, that's him. Yeah, wanted you to do a challenge, and you've got to go and basically spot the difference in these rooms.
Yeah.
That was a bit out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I liked
Where
it. It was
does
interesting.
that bit come from? Like, why has he captured Kara and put her in a
Because
painting?
Kara wandered
Because
off. She
she's
got
a
pissed
whiny
off.
little bitch.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Talk
I'd
about
lock her in a painting.
like Ishtar's studio is beyond here. Talk about just a terrible commute. Every day he has to go down like 6 levels of a dungeon and combat demons just to get to his studio.
He's dedicated, I'll give him that.
Why not just move your studio up to the village?
Because he's a weirdo.
And then you come back out of there and he's turned himself into a painting.
As you do.
Yeah. I've become my work.
Haven't we all done that at some point?
Yeah. Okay, so let's wrap this up to the top of the Tower of Babel. So you and Kara get to the top of the tower, and it's revealed that Will is the Dark Knight, which is why they like to say dark so much in this game, just for you, Mike.
That's why Gary Oldman's in it.
Yeah. It's all coming
All
back together.
comes full circle.
The Tower of Babel was the bat signal, and Will answered the call. Kara is the Light Knight, and through their powers combined, they become Shadow.
The bagel of destiny!
They become Shadow and unlock the power of Firebird and get launched up to the comet to...
It just sounds like you're saying words, Eric.
It is. They get launched up to the comet to do battle with a sentient comet. Which, you're walking around on the comet and it's like that Zelda boss where the mouth is in the floor and you have to attack that by throwing bombs into it. Very similar to that, where you are using Firebird to attack the mouth, and then he's shooting fire beams up into the sky that rain down hot death. And once you beat him, it goes into the actual form of the comet, which is...
We didn't actually mention that the comet is causing problems with evolution, isn't it?
Yes. And that has a direct effect on the ending of the game. So the light from the comet is, like Dan said, causing humanity to advance and evolve at a slower rate. And it's what's spawning the demons.
Not a very good comet, really, is it?
Oh, no, definitely not.
No, not a patch on Meteor from Final Fantasy VII, is it?
No. What would you describe the last boss as looking like, Dan?
Something out of hentai?
A lot of tentacles.
I was going to say it's the tentacles.
Yeah. That scene from Fear Effect, that was essentially it. I liked this boss. This one was fairly challenging without being super difficult.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. It was all right. I like the Firebird attack thing.
It took me a few seconds to realize that you can block those lightning bolts that she shoots out.
Yes, you can.
You just stand there and you hold L1 and R1. You know how Will has this telekinesis power? Well, Shadow just puts out this defensive barrier around him. So she'll sit and shoot a bunch of lightning bolts at you that you can just block and block and block and block. And then as soon as she's done with that, her mouth opens up above and you just Firebird up into it, rinse, repeat, and beat it.
And then move out the way when she shoots down beams of death.
Yeah.
Oh, it does look like hentai.
Yeah. Mike, you sure you didn't just search hentai?
Oh, shit, not again.
Damn it, Google
So
autocorrect.
easily done.
Yeah. Illusion of Gaia, hentai. I mean, those letters are close. So then at the end, you defeat the comet. Will and Kara are standing on the comet looking down at the Earth and saying, I wish I could show all my friends, and this is what it must be like to be a dog. And
Nice. Good reference.
you like that?
Yeah.
Brought it back, son!
And then, somewhat unexpectedly, the world in front of them turned into a bagel, and I just didn't expect it.
I mean, there was cream cheese smearing out
Orbited
everywhere.
orbited by a moon, which had Gary Oldman's face on it. It was just so unexpected.
Real odd. But
So, did they save Seth in the end?
No.
no, Seth is still...
Never
Turned
referenced
into a
again.
Leviathan.
Never
Seth
referenced
is still
again.
Riverson. This is where things get really weird, because they basically...
This is where it gets weird.
This is where it gets real weird. And this takes a little bit of suspension of disbelief, is that for some reason now at the
Unlike
Tower of
the rest of
Babel,
the game.
at the Tower of Babel, time advances faster. And it doesn't advance faster for Will and Kara because they are the chosen dark and light knight, so it doesn't affect them. Which leads you to believe, okay, that's why everybody that goes there dies, because as soon as they get there, time just advances so quickly that they're dead. They get up into the comet and they start to see the world changing, and they're told by Gaia, hey, the world that you're going to go back to is not going to be the same as it was when you left. Everybody that you know is going to be dead and gone and blah, 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 blah. And, oh, hey, by the way, here you go. Now you're going to go back down to Earth. You're never going to see each other again, by the way. She could have just put them back on the planet at the same spot, but she didn't. They get to go back down onto Earth. So you watch the planet shift from what was supposedly Pangea, and you watch the continent shift around and move into their current formation and of the world as we know it today. And Will gets dropped back down into his hometown, and he's walking into school. Actually, this part's after the credits, isn't it? Did you watch after the credits?
See the end. I didn't see the end credits scene because I accidentally pressed Lord State and went back to the Dark Gaia boss fight. And it took so long to get to this, so I was just, I'm not watching that again.
Okay, so you watch the credits, and well, actually, after that, before that, you start to see like cities popping up, and they're talking about the world going from green to dark gray, and Will laments the loss of nature and beauty and all of that, and humanity evolving now because the light of the comet is gone. So Will comes to terms with the fact that he's going to be put back down on Earth, and he has to start his new life, and it kind of starts the game over again, but in a modern city. So he's getting ready to go into school, and this is after the credits, and the bell rings, and out of the door bust all of his friends, and then they freeze frame in like a typical 90s, oh, hey, we're done. So you see all of his friends. So technically they all get reincarnated as well.
And have bagels.
Well, they're probably going to go to the bagel shop for lunch.
I imagine it's pretty easy in the new world.
Yeah, just grab an Uber. They don't
Vag
need to...
bagels on every corner.
None of this adventures.
Yeah.
Overall, Eric, I didn't dislike it. I just thought it was very disjointed, a bit random.
It's a good action game to play on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
I mean, don't go to it for the story. It's just a neat little action game.
I enjoyed it. I think I might have got the wrong impression a little bit.
How so?
We'll reference this when we get onto the questions and comments on Facebook. I actually put a bit about it, so we'll get to it then. But this was kind of a highly requested game for us to do again, so I think I was expecting a hell of a lot more from it than what I got. I enjoyed it, but I think my expectations were very, very high, and I think they were disappointed a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess I'm jaded a little bit by nostalgia on this, because this is actually, as far as I can remember, one of the, if not the first video game I actually bought with my own money.
Oh, wow.
We were walking through Walmart, and actually, there's kind of an asterisk on that. I'd saved up $40. And we were walking into the store, and I picked it up and got up to the cash register, and I only had $20. I dropped my other $20 somewhere in the store, and my mom felt really bad and ended up paying for it anyway. So, because that was her thing. Like, I really wanted this game. I'd rented it once. I'm like, I want to buy this. I really want it. She's like, well, you got to save up all your money, and I saved up for months to get it. And she saw how hard I'd worked, and bless her soul, ended up paying the other half of it for me.
Aww.
But I just have really fond memories of playing this game as a kid, so I understand it probably has its shortcomings, but I think a lot of people have played it back in the day and really enjoyed it for what it was, so I could see how it doesn't age very well.
Oh man, I could see why it'd be mind-blowing back in the day, for sure. Like, if I had played this when I was younger, I would have loved this.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think my expectations were a little bit too high, but yeah, it's great, good game nonetheless.
Yeah. Did you guys notice
like this sort of thing?
Go ahead.
Then if you like this sort of thing, I recommend it highly.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to see the progression of the Quintet games from Soul Blazer to Illusion of Gaia and onward. I'm actually going to pop in some Grand Stream Saga later today just to see if that progression is carried on in terms of visual style. Obviously, it's gone to the PlayStation 1 3D graphics, but sound effects and combat and things like that. And then I've got a Terranigma cart coming shortly. But one of the other changes that we didn't talk about was the title screen. The North American title screen for Illusion of Gaia was actually changed to look more like Zelda.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So I'm going to see if I can pull up not Illusion of Tim. I wonder if so if you compare Illusion of Time versus Illusion of Gaia, and in the manual, I have my manual for this game somewhere. There is recently a pre-release prototype demo released on the internet of this game in ROM form, and it had some of the pre-release changes to it. The title screen had changed. It used to have Will and Kara and Hamlet running along the surface of the comet. That picture is still in the manual, so you can still see that. But the title screen was designed differently to be more familiar for people who had already played the Zelda game. They're like, oh, maybe this will be a little bit like that, and draw them in. Because if you look at the Illusion of Time, that's kind of a hideous box art.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
And I like the name Illusion of Gaia better.
Yeah, Illusion of Time sounds very generic.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make much sense either from the gameplay perspective.
No, but Illusion of Gaia does.
Yes.
All right, should we move on to questions about this game from the community?
Yours, let's do that.
Mike, I'll let you
I
take
had it
this.
up until literally moments before you said it, so bear with me a moment.
Yeah.
Poor timing on my part. Because I've got two separate posts. There we go. Right. So, Brendan Connolly, where exactly does this rank in the list of SNES RPGs? And also, do you guys think the SNES was the greatest console for RPGs?
That's kind of a loaded question.
Chrono Trigger's on there, so...
I don't think it ranks in the top pantheon of SNES RPGs, mainly because it's not really an RPG.
Yeah, I'm with him.
I think it ranks up there with one of the best games on the Super Nintendo. It's definitely worth playing if you want a complete experience of Super Nintendo and what it has to offer. You have to play this. But in terms of RPGs, it's not even on the list.
No, there's a lot better.
Yeah.
Patrick Ryan says, how was the pie?
Grandma's pie was moist and tasty.
A bit fishy.
Dalton Suter, whose name I only ever read in my head using Solid Snake's voice. But what did you think of the game visually? I know Terranigma was the really good-looking game of the series, but I've always loved Gaia's look. So
I really
enjoyed
enjoyed.
Terranigma looks like.
Yeah, I'm going to look that up because I've never actually played Terranigma. Which I think Scale Enley still has his offer on the table for us of, you beat that, I will send you each a case of Australian beer.
This game Scale
Actually,
for a while.
I quite like the look of Terranigma, actually.
Yeah, I do too.
Like, visually.
It kind of has that Chrono Trigger feel to it.
Yeah, it seems very, like, slightly less cartoony.
Here. Well, I mean, even the main character, he kind of has that weird spritey hair.
Yeah.
It looks like he's got a cooler sword as well.
Yeah, like look at this picture here that I just put in
He's
the
not
chat.
fighting with a flute.
Yeah, it's flute.
I don't like the box art for Terranigma, though. It's really generic.
It's a lot of stuff.
I mean,
Way to
the
describe it.
font for the title, it's... bleh. I need to play this. We definitely need to... I don't know if we want to do this for the show, but I need to play it.
I've always wanted to do this for the show. I've suggested about 8 times.
Well, that's why we didn't do it.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Zach Forley, how do we feel about the remaster concept as it applies to Secret of Mana? Not the game itself, but the idea that 20 plus years later, we should basically have a cycle by which we produce a higher definition interpretation of the original.
I don't like it.
I like it if it's done well.
If it's done well, I don't mind. But if it's just a game
I
like
think
Secret of Mana where it looks like a mobile game, then not interested.
Well, see, that's where I'll disagree with you, though, because Adventure of Mana took the Final Fantasy Legend and brought it up to date and made it more accessible, because Final Fantasy Legend for Game Boy, while it was great, it's kind of hard to play. And it's the exact same graphical style as Secret of Mana, and it plays fantastically.
I think but remasters can either be good or bad. Like, you've got things like Crash Bandicoot, which is really good, But for Crash Bandicoot, you've probably got loads of games where they've just kind of up-res the PS3 version.
Yeah.
So it depends if it's a remake or a remaster.
Sometimes it just feels like a cheap money grab, though. And that's what I
Yeah.
don't like. I like how they did it with Oddworld. But then again, I ask myself, do we really need it? Because
I think sometimes it's great to get, because sometimes the old style graphics or the old style gameplay, before they remake things, can sometimes be a hurdle for people who've not played the games before. And if they manage to do a fantastic remake and update it just that little bit, and people can get past that hurdle and experience the game, I can't see the problem with it. Like I said, as long as it's done well.
Nostalgia can be blinding though as well, because you can think back in the day, maybe in your head that's how it looked to start with, but when you play the remaster, you might kind of be a realization of those dreams in the future.
yeah, because we had to imagine things as we were playing these as a kid and fill in those gaps, and now they're filling in those gaps. And we're like, oh, hey, this really isn't as good, and I miss the original style.
Yeah.
I think what I would rather have them do, just make these games accessible on modern consoles instead of, you don't need to remake everything because you run the risk of destroying it.
Yeah, I think a lot of the older games are going to get lost to time, and that's sad.
That's why you need that retro pie. Grandma's retro pie.
Shannon McIntosh, I always preferred this to Soul Blazer. I thought it was much more fun, better story, and livelier graphics. My rotten brother disagrees with me. What say you?
You cut out for a second. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, sorry. Shannon McIntosh said, I always preferred this to Soul Blazer. I thought it was more fun, better story, and livelier graphics. My rotten brother disagrees with me. What say you?
You cut out again, but I heard Blazer, so I assume you mean Soul Blazer.
The shorter version is basically Shannon McIntosh always preferred this to Soul Blazer. His brother disagrees. What say us?
I think they
I
each
can't
stand
remember
on
Soul
their own.
Blazer, to be honest. So
I liked the city rebuilding mechanic of Soul Blazer.
oh yeah,
But it didn't have any story whatsoever. Did you guys catch the reference to Soul Blazer in this game? With
No.
Turbo the dog? He's the one who finds you on the raft.
No.
I've not played Soul Blazer, so no.
So
I
all
can't
of
remember
the
it, mate, so.
all of the Quintet games in this series have a dog named Turbo. And Turbo's the old dog in the woods, the second level of Soul Blazer, who runs the animal village.
vaguely remember it. I can't.
Vaguely. I like this one. If I had to choose, I like this one better.
Yeah, I think I like this one better too.
I mentioned what I said before, where I was a bit confused where the hype and everything was coming from. And there was a response from Dalton Suter, who just said to that, I just really liked the historical landmarks you get to visit, all the while I dig the combat. But I will admit I like Terra Enigma more, but I have a massive love for this game. I really don't have a main reason, it just clicked to me as a fun little adventure, which sounds like a similar sort of thing with you, Eric.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those games that just kind of strikes all the right chords and you can't really explain why. You know, when we first booted this up, I got to the title screen and that triumphant music. It just brought me back to being a kid and playing this in my grandparents' living room, and just kind of that flood of memories of when I was a kid and what I was doing at that time. And
Not getting past the title screen because you can't figure out controls to games when you first play them.
I've never had that problem.
I'm like that with Final
was
Fantasy
Jess,
7.
sorry.
Oh yeah.
I'm like that with Final Fantasy 7. Those first few chimes of music on that
yeah.
opening scene
That
gets
still
me
gives
every time.
still gives me chills. That.
If you played that game when it first came out, most people will remember exactly where they were when they first played that game.
When they did the remake announcement at E3 and they played those chimes, like the room just went nuts.
Oh yeah.
It was insane.
This isn't really a question, but Josh Moss put a memory, like one of his memories of this game from when he was younger, and I thought it'd be quite nice to read out. He put, it was one of those games I rented as a kid because we were poor as fuck, and usually rentals suck. But my mum saw I was so into it that she called and got my time extended without him asking. He was so sad to let it know it had to go back because he only got 2 rentals a month. And then when she told him that he had another 2 weeks, it was amazing. I'm paraphrasing here. And basically he said that, you know, he can now afford games and things like that, but that little memory has always stuck with him with this game.
Oh, that's nice.
You don't realize how much
nice.
your parents really supported your video gaming habit as a kid until you look back on it. You're like, man, they really did kind of go out of their way to do that. Like, that's kind of what I want to do with my kids too, is give them
Just rent them Mega Man.
Yeah. Which is why I'm buying all these games. Like, here, you don't need to rent that shit. Actually, you can't even rent it.
In 20 years, Ellie, let's play Mega Man with a joystick.
I was playing Mega Man the other night, and Ellie was talking about she was asking about the different enemies on the screen and what Mega Man was doing, and then just out of the blue, she goes, I wish I could be Mega Man.
I'm still...
Your
still
proudest
think you paid her to
moment
say
as a
that.
parent.
I did not pay her. I asked her what she said to record it, to send it to you guys, but hand to God, I did not tell her to say that.
Next question. Chad Hager says, do you guys prefer turn-based RPGs or action-based RPGs more? I am more speaking in the retro sense, like Gaia versus Final Fantasy. I prefer turn-based, and even now I want a more modern turn-based.
Play Persona 5.
I like them both. I like to switch between the two because I kind of get burned out on turn-based after a while. They do generally take a lot longer to play.
Yeah,
Took me a while.
It depends. I like Nuno Kuni's action combat. I like Chrono Trigger's action combat, but I love a turn-based battle system.
Yeah, if you want to do something a little bit more strategic.
I mean, I really liked Final Fantasy XIII's battle system, to be honest.
You should play
where you just don't do
Lightning
anything.
Returns. That one's got
do
it.
things. It gets very complicated later on.
Did you play Lightning Returns, Dan?
I have.
That one's got a great battle system. It kind of just
that was good
streamlines
too.
everything and makes it really good.
Kind of mixes it with Final Fantasy X-2's battle system.
Yeah. I think I have 2 sealed copies of that game.
Surprising.
Yeah.
RPG-wise, I've always kind of preferred... I know it isn't technically how it should be, but I've always associated RPG with the turn-based stuff, so the action stuff always felt a bit strange to me. Like, I remember playing Kingdom Hearts for the first time, and I was like, I'm not 100% sure about this. Because obviously the thing that hooked me in with Kingdom Hearts was Final Fantasy mixed with Disney. Yeah, sounds great. And then it wasn't turn-based. No, it's a bit iffy with it, but I grew to love it.
I kind of saw the turn-based or the action-based RPGs as kind of the meshing of two of my favorite genres of RPGs and dungeon crawlers.
It will be interesting to see how people react to Final Fantasy VII Remake having an action-based system rather than a turn-based system, though.
I think if it's anything like 15, though, where it's kind of it's technically a meshing of the two, it'll be fine.
I think so. Judging from the early gameplay, it looks like you can switch between characters on a whim.
Segue, speaking of Final Fantasy 15, have either of you downloaded the Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition?
No.
I want to play the original first.
Wow. It's an experience and a half. If you've played through the original and you just want a succinct, here's the game, but it still has semi-deep combat to it, really, really well done.
Have you heard they're bringing out another 4 DLC packs for Final Fantasy 15?
I mean, people like that game.
Yeah, but come on.
Do you have it, Mike?
What, Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah.
No.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those where I don't know if I want to go back and revisit it through the DLCs, because each of the DLCs are...
It feels like we've been shortchanged because it feels like a more complete game now.
Yeah.
For example, it has... you can upgrade the car now to do off-road driving.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big game changer.
But why would you need to do that when you can fly?
Because flying, you crash every time you land.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose, and I don't ever want to park on the side of the road and then run out to the treasure.
What annoyed me about Final Fantasy 15 is spoilers, so don't listen if you haven't played it. There's certain points where the characters go missing, and you're like, that is obviously where the DLC is going to be. In an older Final Fantasy, that would have been in it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan
And I mean,
of
like,
that.
there's this huge section with Ignis where he kind of gets something happen to him, which is completely game-changing, and it's just not in the game.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, it does kind of suck now I think about it. I don't like that.
I mean, I still loved it. It was great, but this could have been so much better.
Especially when you think about games with the scope and depth of something like Persona 5.
Yeah. I
You
think
get
they just needed to get
hundreds.
Final Fantasy 15 out of the door.
Well, it'd been in development hell for 10 years.
I know. It's just... It feels like the original version was not the complete version. And hence they are doing a Royale edition.
Which I think is going to be the definitive way to play it.
Yep.
Mark Marcheski sent us an email. If you want to send us an email, if you aren't on Facebook, you can send it to factorysealed@manatank.com. He says, "Ahoy, sealers!" Which is a good reference to what you called me earlier, Dan.
It's like he knew.
As a longtime listener, I recall the original show of this game, and what I recall was Eric hyping the ending and not wanting to spoil it. So I got to see the ending finally. While I liked it, it's very Secret of Mana or 90s RPG. Like the way people talked of it, I always expected a realistic turn. Now, to add to one of those questions that are tough to think up on the spot, is there any game you only can recall or think of because of one minor game mechanic? I didn't recall this game after the first podcast until I saw the spinning bow staff pulling objects animation. Then I really realized I did play the game while emulating a lot. His question, basically, one game mechanic that is the only thing you can think about for a certain game.
I suppose Tomb Raider for me, walking up to the edge of a ledge, pressing back to go back, and then doing a running jump and grab.
Oh, that's a good one.
I would say
Possible handstand as an option.
the original Dark Cloud.
I
And
fuck him so much.
just building the cities. I don't remember anything else about that game other than that. There was one time one of my buddies was playing it, and he's like, "Yeah, I got stuck in the first dungeon and just kept fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, and he ended up getting the Dark Cloud sword in the first dungeon." Like, okay, dude, you've just wasted a ton of time. All you had to do is do this. He's like, "Oh, I feel like an idiot."
This can. Sorry, Garrett, go on.
No, I'm trying to. There's another one I had. Let me think about it for a second.
Well, I haven't properly played Final Fantasy 12 because I remember starting to play it and it was such a departure from any Final Fantasies I've played before that I kind of didn't get on with it, and then then just didn't carry on playing it all. But I always, for some reason, remember and I always just think, when I think of Final Fantasy 12, it's what I think of, is, you know, those lines that come out from your characters to go to what you're targeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always just remember in the battle, like, just the lines going everywhere. Like, there's that opening bit where it's based in the past and there's the battle and everything. And there's just lines going everywhere. And I just always remember that. That always makes me think of Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah, because it's kind of got that MMO feel to it.
I should go back and play that someday.
You guys ever play Radiata Stories on the PS2?
No.
Don't know a damn thing about the game other than the fact that almost everybody in that game can become your friend and join your party, kind of like Suikoden. It's the only thing I know about that game is like walking around, talking to people, making friends, and they join your party. Played a ton of that game, couldn't tell you a damn thing about it other than everyone can be your
I think
friend.
with Illusion of Gaia, all I'll remember is bagels.
Which aren't even in the game.
We do have some more Facebook questions as well, because I had to put a second post out today.
Do it.
Although that email came at a good point, because this is not really any more Gaia-related stuff. So, Zach Fawley says... Oh, no, we've already done that one. Ignore me.
Yeah.
Jeremy Sanford says, I have a podcast question. How does Illusion of Gaia compare to Mega Man?
Ooh, some people say Mega Man?
Yeah.
Oh! Woo!
God, I'm going now. See you later.
I felt the tingle! Woo!
Last two questions. One is David Merkel. Was Super Nintendo the only system to get good RPGs, or did Genesis get some too? Phantasy Star is the only one I can think of.
I've never played Phantasy Star. I've always fancied it, but never got round to it.
I don't know if the Genesis wasn't really RPG heavy.
I think
Well, it was billed as more of an arcade machine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I
mean, they
people
had-
would always think the SNES had better RPGs, to be honest.
Weren't they more action-based? Like Landstalker?
They had Landstalker.
Yeah. Shining Force. There was another one I was just looking at called Beyond Oasis, but isn't that also...
yeah. That's called The Story of Thor over here. I want to play that on the show one day, actually.
Tough.
Oh,
I might buy that for the... I wonder if that's on the Saturn, because I saw that recently.
I'm not sure.
But
I know
that's
it's on the-
action-based. It's action-adventure, so it's not really an RPG.
Yeah, I suppose it's not. But RPGs was like the SNES's bread and butter, wasn't it?
They
really?
had all the Ease games.
YS, you mean?
Yeah, Ease. That's how it's pronounced.
Or use...
Ease. Ark of Nephistum. They had the Pi Solar, Pier Solar. They recently did a remake of that. Didn't they? Yeah. Yeah. I need to confirm that, but I'm pretty sure that was it. I just can't think of any good Genesis.
Phantasy Star is the only one I can think of. I've not even played it. I just from notoriety.
I mean, if you pull in Sega CD, the Lunar series. No, that was on Genesis. Yeah. Sega Saturn, Sega Genesis, through Sega CD. Lunar Eternal Blue.
Okay, last question. Steve Burton, how do you guys manage to find the time to play and often finish each game? I was determined to play along with Illusion of Gaia, but I've still only managed to get to the Moon Tribe where you get the 4 statues you have to move onto the squares. I play a lot of PS4 at home, but was hoping to play this at work on my break each day. How do you juggle modern gaming with the show games or retro ones you want to replay yourself?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's tough. Sometimes I'll play it because we get 2 weeks. I'll play it at the start and then play it on a modern game for like a week, and then remember that I've got to finish a game for the show on the Friday before the show, and do so.
It depends on how long the game is. Like Illusion of Gaia was a good 10, 12 hours. So you kind of have to budget time for that. For the shorter ones, I typically start it like the Wednesday before the show just so it's all fresh.
Yeah. My girlfriend was out last weekend, most of the weekend, so I kind of just played it then for this one. But in the past, it has been tricky. I mean, I don't know how we used to do it when we had 1 week, because to me, that's just mad.
Yeah, I don't.
Being fairly new to the show, I'm still amazed that you guys managed to do that. Because I sometimes struggle to do it in the 2 weeks.
It's rough when you have to juggle it with a job, and then I've got 2 kids to juggle it with too, so it can be tight.
But we do it for you guys.
That's it.
It depends on the game for me as well. Sometimes it makes it easier or harder. So if we're playing a game for the show that I'm really, really enjoying, great. Fantastic, I'll just want to keep playing it. But if we're playing something that either I'm not particularly enjoying or I'm playing something modern that I'm really, really enjoying and just want to play, playing the game for the show can sometimes feel like a chore. And it can feel like work sometimes. And they're usually the harder ones I find to get through and find time for, because you want to be doing something else.
I mean, we've played some stinkers for this show.
We have.
But we just have to get through them.
No crisis.
Hey, that game was great.
Oddwell.
Speaking of that, do you know what we should play next, or does anybody have a suggestion?
I'm not here, so pick something shit.
So I was digging through my N64 games, and this is, again, another game that we had briefly talked about on the show years ago. Mike, have you ever played Space Station Silicon Valley?
No.
Do you know what it is?
No.
Imagine a game where you are a tiny
Imagine a world
where you are a tiny microchip that you can control. It looks like a spider, and you can walk around the world and you can infect and take over any animal in the game.
9.5 out of 10?
Space Station Silicon Valley is fantastic.
Dan's going to be upset if we do a good game.
Oh, Dan, you would absolutely love this game.
I'm sure I would.
It's kind of a old retro
Most
style.
Most of the next episode is going to be you guys throwing me under the bus, so...
Oh, yeah. Please give us another Jock Buns picture.
I'll try my best.
Can you try to make sure that your pictures this time are in focus?
Yes, I've got a new phone. It should be fine.
Unless Australia just really is out of focus.
This game is apparently longer than Illusion of Gaia.
Is it?
Yeah, 19 hours apparently.
Woo! That's a long game.
That's just for the main story.
It's a ton of fun.
Everything. 27 and a half.
I do remember it being really, really long, and some of the puzzles are really complex. Each of the animals that you can take over has different skills and abilities that you have to use to get through the level. It's really fun. But we don't have to play that. We can do that down the road.
I'm easy, as always.
Apparently, there is a PlayStation version of it called Evo's Space Adventures.
Oh, I've heard of that. Never played it, but I've heard of it.
What the hell? I wonder if it's... Oh, it's the same game, yeah. Huh.
It looks better on the N64, though, I must admit. Looking at the images.
Weird.
It's got that old PS1 Jag.
Yeah, PlayStation port developed by Runecraft under the name Evo Space Adventures. Interesting. Okay, well, we got to think about what we want to play next then. Mike hasn't...
Really
you haven't
decide
suggested
this ahead
something.
of time, guys.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we did ask this on the WhatsApp group earlier this week, and it just descends into anarchy within seconds.
Yeah.
Cannot maintain serious conversation for longer than about 10 seconds, honestly.
So we'll figure that out. Let's see. So, Dan, you're going to be in Australia in the next show.
Correct.
Mike will be here. I will be here. Hopefully, Yambo will be here.
I'll probably be gone for the show after that as well.
Whoa! Why?
Because I go on the day you're recording the next show.
How long are you going to be gone?
And I'm gone for 3 weeks.
Good Lord.
I'm not back until the 9th of April.
Hell, you'll shit. Yeah, you'll definitely miss 2 shows. Let's do some really fun games. Let's do Final Fantasy 9.
No!
Let's do Final Fantasy 10.
What?
Let's do Final Fantasy 6.
I've just replayed Final Fantasy X. I don't want to do it again.
Let's do Persona 5.
Yeah, let's do that.
That famous 10-year-old game.
Yeah. That's all I've got, guys.
Are you bragging?
No, I'm just saying that's all I've got for this show.
But Eric, you have so much more. Always remember, my friend, that you are an idiot.
If I'm an idiot, how can I have more?
That is just all you've got.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to know an interesting fact I learned today?
Nope.
So I learned that apparently butterfly semen is like 90% fake. And what happens is the male butterfly inserts his penis into the female butterfly and uses it as like a dipstick to see how full she is. Inserts the semen into there and then to detract, basically they put the fake stuff in so that when the other butterflies come around, they go, oh, she's full, I won't bother, and go off. How fucking weird is that? 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 How fucking weird is that?